I'd have you on every week. I feel like you fit the bill perfectly. Like low-key, Charles, get out of here, bro. We got a replacement.
We have like 70 people.
I honestly, it was so funny. It was like, I got the DM and I was like, don't respond immediately, play it cool. And we got other shit going on, you know? You respond right away.
Let me check my schedule.
Saturday on a pandemic. Yeah, you know, I think I could make it.
Maybe.
I'll squeeze you in.
Blake he's an amazing parrier for sure. Second best in New England next to me. He's really good.
Of everyone here, I know the most about Blake.
Haz isn't here to deny it. Haz isn't here to deny it.
Let me literally break down like what makes.
Well, I have wireless headphones. I heard that whole fucking thing.
I know.
And let me tell you. No, I'm kidding. I get it. You honestly probably watch.
What's up, everyone? How's everyone doing? Yo,
Yeah,
we've done.
crazy,
This is our 9th episode, bro.
Yeah, going into 3 months, and I don't know, it's super sick to see like all the community feedback.
Yeah.
Like I will literally just get random DMs and like on Twitter and stuff. It's just like, dude, really love the podcast on Tweek's channel. Like Tweek's Talks is super awesome. Like keep it up, blah blah. It's like it's I don't know. It's really cool to see all that. I'm like really glad that you guys really like enjoy this. Watching it live obviously has like a special little touch to it, but like you can also catch the YouTube VOD too.
Yeah.
And I know we're also looking to get it on Spotify as well. So
Nice.
that'll be
But
really
they
sick.
don't hit you up about our podcast? That's not the one they hit you up about?
No, not yet. Dude, we gotta grow it. We gotta grow
I know.
it. Yeah, me and Haz do a podcast on Smash University too, and that's another thing I'm getting a lot of feedback about too. Just like in general, like a lot of people are loving the content from Smash University. So that's like something that always like feels really good. Something that I'm like super passionate about is just like teaching Smash. So it's like, I don't know, like there's not a, like for me, there's like not a better feeling. Like the best feeling to me is when I like help someone like push themselves in Smash. Like that's like the best feeling that I get from the game. So
Hell yeah, man. Right on. I think the community for a long time has always been looking for a good podcast to listen to. There have been a couple throughout the years. I've listened to almost damn near every one of them. So I'm glad that you guys have one. It's people obviously that I like and who I like enjoy listening to you guys talk about the game. So it's been, yeah. As someone who was a viewer now, you know, longtime viewer, first time caller, glad to be on the show and here to talk to you guys. And it's
Haz, I'd have you on every week. I feel like you fit the bill perfectly. Like
Yeah.
So like,
yeah, man.
okay, look at this, dang. All right.
like low-key,
To be honest,
like low-key, Charles, get out of here, bro. We got a replacement.
We have like 70 people who are like, all right, we can look into this person. How about we invite this person? And Gavin just goes, all right, we're doing Haz. And I was like, what? All right, cool, let's get it.
I was like, I'm down, dude. I'm about that. Hell yeah.
I honestly, it was so funny. It was like, I got the DM and I was like, don't respond immediately, play it cool. Like, you got other shit going on, you know? You don't respond right away. Yeah, I guess I could do a podcast. And I was like, yeah, dude, let's go.
Let me check my schedule.
Give it like a 30-minute
buffer,
right?
Saturday on a pandemic. Yeah, you know, I think I could make it.
Maybe.
I'll squeeze you in. You know what I mean? Like I'll squeeze you into my schedule. Like I'll open it up. Like, oh god, it's so funny.
Hell yeah, dude. But yeah, I'm pumped, man. I mean, you guys are all awesome, and talking about the game is probably my favorite thing about it. So I'm excited, especially the people who know the game well. Like that's the best, because especially people who, even though we might not agree on every single thing, there's going to be constructive ways to have a conversation about the game that are fun, because it is a great game overall. The series overall, obviously, very fun to play. So
we have the years under our belt too. You know, like you don't have to go through the basics when talking to each other. It's like you can go straight into like the specific, like top level, like any like stuff like that.
The juicy shit.
Yeah. Like we've been playing for a long time that you don't have to explain any of the vague stuff about Smash. I don't even know.
Dude, yeah, for like half my life. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Wait a
man.
minute.
Weird to think about. Yeah. You've been playing for half your life.
I don't know did you play any other games before Smash 2? Because for me, I was in the FGC as like a kid, like playing like Street Fighter and stuff way early on. Like I played Street Fighter first, I really love Smash, but it was seriously, if you remember back in the day, it was not cool to play both. Like if you played FGC, you didn't like Smash. Like it was not, and that's how it was. Obviously, it's gotten a lot better. It's fine now. But I had to like hide it from my cousin and my friends who I played fighting games with. I was like, oh yeah, Smash, that's
guilty
stupid.
Pleasure
like,
game.
You know,
Guilty pleasure.
Yeah, dude, I would see away at Third Strike tournaments. I would play Smash because I'd be like, I really want to try this game out, but they'd all make fun of me because it was Smash and it's for babies and like whatever, you know, whatever they said.
That's
but here I am.
So funny. Oh my god.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's how it was, right? But like it was even like even at like the like most I don't know if it was the most recent Evo or whatever, like, but I just remember like randomly watching a Smash video and then like these group of FGC players, they're like, oh yo, Smash is sick, like, you know, Smash is part of FGC and stuff like that. It's like it's definitely gotten way better. Like there's still some people that are kind of like with that old school mentality, like some people are like that, but they either like just aren't as vocal about it anymore, or more people, or the other thing is just like a lot more people in the FGC are just more accepting of Smash, which is like super tight. And like even seeing Smash at like very iconic FGC events like Wednesday Night Fights, you know,
CEO.
like one of CEO,
EVO.
right? Like all these iconic fighting game tournaments, EVO, right? Like it's like the integration has been definitely like there, right? So
Street Fighter kids were bullies in my high school. The Smash kids. Yep, I lived it. Yep, absolutely, man. Games for babies. They still to this day, when Ryu got released in Smash 4, they hit me up because we were obviously talking. I still talk to those guys every once in a while, and they were like, "I bet you can't even do the inputs. So you're such a baby, you have to hit up B instead of Shoryuken." I was like, "Dude, are you kidding me? Like this many years later, like the Smash kids can't even do the inputs. Like that was a joke that they were making."
Okay,
like,
but some of them actually can't. So
I know. That was the problem. I didn't have much of a defense. 80% true, you know. Oh shit.
Dude,
anyway.
What was that EVO thing that happened? I think Sony bought EVO or something crazy.
Yes, that is actually a topic we should talk about.
Yeah, maybe
that's
just
probably like
scratch that
the
first.
Opener topic. Yeah. Obviously, like I guess I'll start, but like I think it's overall, like the way I look at, you know, the FGC, it's like there's the FGC and then there's a bunch of sub communities in the FGC being all the different games, right? I never try to view it like one's more important than the other, right? Like one might get more viewership or whatever, those are just numbers, right? But like it's still all under the FGC. I think overall for the FGC, it's like good. I think it's not good for like specific sub communities, right?
Yeah.
And like an example, you know, obviously our game is Ultimate, right? So I think for Ultimate, it's like not good because our chances of being at EVO before this was like pretty much 100% chance in terms of like an offline event, right? Because like they're just always going to have Ultimate there. But now, just because of the sheer numbers it brings, right? And it was even like the last game at the last offline EVO, if I'm not mistaken, right? It was like the finale. So, but with Sony, I think the chances of Ultimate being in there are like way lower, which is like fine. I think it's okay that like Ultimate takes a hit for the overall like bigger picture, right? Like the fact that like at the end of the day, these big companies are, you know, investing into like esports and not just esports, like FGC esports, right? FGC esports usually doesn't get that much spotlight and investment, but now like we got companies like Sony buying EVO, we got companies like Microsoft buying Smash GG. Like it's just that means more money will be put into it, and hopefully, you know, players won't have to go through the experience of like getting 7th at EVO and getting like $80. Like that's fucked up. I will tell you right now, getting top 8 at an EVO in any game is like some of the hardest shit to do on the planet. It's just, it's really hard. It's really hard. And it's like, it's a 1v1 game too. It's like, there's no like team excuses. There's no like, well, he did this, she did that. Like it's literally, it's just you. It's just the other player. And then there's so much other outside factors that go into it because of traveling and, you know, the crowd. And like, there's just so much, the list goes on and on with the bullshit you have to deal with at a FGC tournament, like for any game. Right.
Yeah.
So overall, I'm super psyched. And like Melee actually has a higher like chance, in my opinion. Like before, like it was 0% chance Melee would be at EVO, but now there's like a small chance. So, and I'm like Melee's my personal favorite like esports to watch. So that's like, I'm super psyched about that. I love Melee, the community. So like I said, yeah, every sub community like kind of took a hit for the good or for the bad, but like overall FGC, it's like phenomenal. Like I think it's just great.
I think you said it well too, Charles. I think especially EVO was such a volatile tournament experience because there are so many people. Like it attracts like the biggest crowds for in terms of playing. Like the thousands of people enter brackets. People who have downloaded the game and played it one time and don't know any of the buttons do, to the best players in the world, and the most of them too because they want to win that title or win that top 8 or whatever it is. But then also it's volatile because it's mostly 2 out of 3 because it's such a big field. Huge thing is that it's crazy that it's the biggest fighting game tournament of all time, and it's easily the most volatile. But I think that kind of like it fed into this whole atmosphere of what made EVO perfect. On top of it having the Daigo moment from Third Strike as like the perfect marketing tool of all time, but it also had this kind of gambling aspect to it. It's held in Vegas. Anything can really happen at EVO. You know what I mean? It's very exciting. Like from a viewer perspective, it's exciting as a competitor. Stressful as hell, obviously, but I think that's what makes it such a and it was the first really, really big tournament to do it. So like all these factors combined just make it very prestigious and something you want to be a part of. So I hope Sony buying it out doesn't mean the end of Smash. I think it's hard to tell. I think they're open to whatever makes it the best event possible because they're a company. At the end of the day, they're about money. So if adding Smash somehow increases their revenue overall somehow, I'm sure they'll make it happen. And if they can't do that, we'll see. But it seems like now there are 2 major companies that would have to agree to having Smash at EVO, which to me sounds like more of a hurdle than anything, but we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, I think
Nintendo and
I think overall it's like a good thing for EVO as a whole that this is happening regardless. Like obviously like we're Smash players, like we want Smash, but I think regardless if Smash is there or not, I think it's still an improvement. Because like that just sounds like very like something like very professional, like it's gonna like bring EVO to the next level and whatever. But I don't know, talking about like the specific stuff about EVO like from like someone that's been there a bunch of times, like it's something I never wanted to talk about, like the problems I had with the tournament, like best of 3 and like the schedule Smash had to deal with and like a bunch of like this is the thing about EVO. Like if you're like let's just say you're me, like you have to go. Like
you don't have a choice.
Not going is a mistake.
That's like, true. That's true, actually.
The legacy. Dude.
Yeah, not going is a mistake, but there's gonna be way more problems when you go. Like the schedules are really rough. Like it seems like Smash kind of got like the short end of the stick, like the most a lot of the time.
8 a.m. pools, man.
Yeah, like or like you finish at like midnight and then you have like 8 a.m. after.
That's happened.
That's
happened.
West Coast 8 a.m. too.
Tweek is giving you the competitor POV right now.
Yeah,
a lot of you guys, if you've never been to an EVO, you don't really understand it. But like, EVO had Smash, but like Smash would always get shafted. Just it was like to the point where we were used to it. Like that was like a regular thing. Like like I even saw like Max made like a tweet like Smash about to have like pools like in the corner by the bath, like in a bathroom or something like that. And it's like obviously over exaggerated or whatever, but like that's how it felt like all the time. And like everyone knew Mr. Wizard was not a fan of Smash, and that's even another thing to kind of just like generally go over. Obviously we're not going to go too into it, but like Mr. Wizard's obviously not part of EVO anymore, so that helps Smash's chances. Just in my opinion, it generally helps it a little bit, because the Cannon Brothers are still involved with EVO, even though PlayStation did buy them out. So like they're still part of it. Mr. Wizard's not. Mr. Wizard obviously like hated Smash, so it's like that's a kind of plus, and like he just shouldn't have been in that position anyway, so that's also just a big plus too. So yeah.
I think Sony as a business too, they are going to understand that they've acquired something that's very kind of special in terms of the fighting game community and communities in general, and it is going to be obviously a good opportunity for them to push their new IPs and fighting games, and that's great. But I think, like you said, they need to keep their core tournament staff in there so that they can make the right decisions and make it feel like kind of nothing has changed, but now Sony's here kind of holding hands and shaking hands and making things happen. So that's kind of how I think they need to treat it and just let the chips fall where they will. But I don't know how much control Sony's going to want over this whole thing. So it's really interesting.
I always knew I was picking up Strive when it came out. I knew I was dropping Smash.
Yeah, I think like basically my point is I think regardless of what happens to Smash at EVO, I think this potentially means a better tournament experience for like especially like professional players that are like there the whole weekend, like competing the whole weekend. Like I just think doing something like this like gives it more of a chance to actually be a good tournament, not just because of the legacy. Because for Smash, you were going for the legacy and the title, but everything else about it was terrible.
Yes,
And like,
absolutely.
there's some other events like that, but like EVO's the first one that comes to mind where it's like the one that you have to go to, but you're dreading. In terms of just like as like just living through it, like it's just terrible.
Yeah.
Now remember, we're talking as a Smasher. This is a Smasher POV. Like you're only going there for Smash. Like the Smash community generally felt shafted when they went to an EVO. This is not like applying to like other fighting games. Like I'm pretty sure other fighting game communities had like different experiences, right? So it's like EVO, we're not saying like EVO was like a crap experience like all the time for like all games. Like this is literally just like if you went for Smash, this is like the kind of stuff that went down throughout like Smash 4 and stuff like that. So and then bridging into Ultimate. I think the Ultimate EVO definitely like the worst experiences were definitely in Smash 4. They got a little, they were like getting better. Like I remember like the first Ultimate EVO was a little bit better, a step above, in terms of experience, like a lot better than Smash 4. Like the Ultra Shaft happened in Smash 4 a lot.
Yeah, and it did pick up and it did get better, but Ultimate was also, I'm pretty sure it was the biggest game at that EVO, right? And it was a brand new game at the time, and like, I think that's just kind of how things go. If you're kind of the oldest game on the roster or whatever, it just might be kind of your turn to do it. But I do agree that it does feel like it happens to Smash a little bit more than other games. But who knows? I think it was our time in the sun to shine, and we'll see what happens going forward.
Yeah. But yeah, and then I guess the next topic, like the main topic of today, probably we're going to talk about is last week there was like we started off the World Tour with Mexico. So the World Tour, as in general, is like extremely exciting for Smash, and we just started off with the Mexico qualifier, and I did like a 10.5-hour stream of it. I watched like basically the whole main bracket. No breaks, just watched it. Hazmatt commentated it, so it's definitely a good topic today. We can ask him like how he felt about it, like favorite moments or anything else specific, especially if you guys have any questions. But yeah, and we also have Oceania like basically now this weekend as well. That's gonna be starting.
Yeah, when does that start?
Tonight, pretty much.
Like
pretty much tonight.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, if you think about it, Sydney's about 13 or 12 hours, I think, ahead of us. So yeah, like the tournament's gonna be starting soon. For them, it's starting tonight our time, and then it's going into. I'll be commentating the caboose of it. I think top 4, top 8, or whatever at 5 a.m. So.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, I know. I told my girl, and she's like, I didn't sign up for this. I was like, well, you kind of did, but it's not any of our fault that time zones exist. So. She's like, just try not to be too loud. I was like, well, it's Smash commentary, so I can't be doing like golf commentary. You see, 2 guys did golf commentary at one point. I thought it was pretty neat, but I wouldn't want to listen to it for a whole tournament. Also, not going to happen at 5 this morning, so. Let me see. Hold on.
Somebody asked, what would be the best S tier tournament to go to? Super Smash.
Oh, Shine. Yep. There you go.
They said the same thing, guys.
Our regional bias.
Yeah, I'm a Genesis man myself.
I love Genesis. I love Genesis as well, though. I mean, all the ones that we just named are just.
I'm going to all of them, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Gavin's like, does my opinion matter? I'm forced to go to all of them.
I think if I was to tell, like, if it's your first S tier, I would say SmashCon. Honestly, is I mean, it depends on where you live and like what you're trying to get out of the experience, right? Like, if it's easier for you to get to one than the other and travels, a big consideration to make, then I would say pick one that's closer to you. But SmashCon is insane. Like it's at an expo center. There's great art. Every single game's represented. It's really fun. Yeah. I love Shine. Obviously, it's close to my heart because I'm from Boston. It's where the tournament series is. I know the guys who run it, and the New England scene shows up big time. CEO also. We didn't say I love CEO. CEO is hype, dude. CEO is hype. The Florida crowd is insane every year. And Genesis is a class. Genesis is our EVO. Is always kind of how I think about it. Like when I break it down.
It definitely feels like that.
It was the first real tournament series. When you win or do well at a Genesis, it's like a huge deal in the community itself. So that's always how I felt about it. So
that makes sense.
That's my breakdown.
And I think starting in Mexico for the World Tour was super hype. I think Mexico is like a really underrated region. I think a lot of people just like before those Smash World Tour, a lot of people would generally be like, "Oh, Leo, Mexico, that's it, right?" And then Meister, got top 10. Then it was kind of just like even more like eyes emoji on Mexico, and it's just like players. You don't get players that are that good from like a not so great region. Like that's always like my mentality, and like I'm super big on like the aspects outside of the player, right? Like what makes a player good? There's a bunch of factors, like obviously just a talented player that has very good work ethic, has a good mind for the game, has a good mind for improvement, right? That you need that, but you also need the surrounding environment to like do other things for the player. I think that's like a very big factor. Obviously that's something that I've like experimented with and like studied a lot since I'm a coach, right? So it's just like, obviously it gets even really deep with like, how they interact with their parents and stuff, but I'm not going to get into that. But more so just like how like what the Smash like their own Smash community, right? Because the Smash community, it's a very big encompassing thing. It's throughout the whole world, but there's a bunch of like sub Smash communities in like different regions, right? Like obviously Gavin, Jersey, South Jersey, and then kind of going into tri-state when he goes to regionals and stuff, that was the region he grew up in, and obviously a incredible amount of talented players there, even backing since like it was like tri-state pretty much dominated for Brawl and then like early Smash 4, right? So it's like in terms of the environment Gavin grew up in, he had a lot of opportunities with like a lot of like talented players, right? And like I don't know how deep it got in terms of like them teaching them, but I know in terms of like Leo specifically, like Leo had like Javi teaching him, like his literal family played a bunch of Smash and taught him at a very, very young age. So it's like, and then even like just the Mexico scene in general, like they just like seem very helpful. They like help all their players out and stuff like that. So yeah, I think I don't know. It's just like really good players have to come from a very good Smash community, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's rare. I tried to make eye contact with Charles. I can't. There's Termy. There we go. Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Well, it's kind of like how you get like this regional pride, because it's like, man, that dude beats my ass every week. I want to see him beat someone else's ass for a change. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would Mars and Air split kick other people? I'm like, that sucks. But it's not me, so that's pretty cool, actually. That feels a lot better on somebody else than it does on me. But you're right, too. It takes and not that it's not mostly, in my opinion, it's mostly on the player themselves, obviously, to identify things and make their own changes and be coachable and figure out things. But it takes a bit of a region, man, to make these things happen all together. Have locals, regionals, be good practice partners, all that good stuff. Like it's just, and I know. This before the pandemic, Mars was going to weeklies pretty much every week. Light was too. I know it's a big part of like their quote unquote workout regimen or whatever you want to call it. It helps them out a lot. So,
same here. I was going to a lot of locals as well. Yeah,
it helps, man. Even if you're winning them all, even if you don't drop a game at a weekly, it's okay. It's good. It's good to stay fresh, and it's good to be even if you're not practicing matchups per se or against certain specific things against people, just being in that competitive mindset once a week or twice a week, like it helps out a lot, especially. You get into these tight situations, this last stock, last hit, like that's a skill. Like being able to handle yourself in that situation is a skill that you need to hone, or you're never going to clutch out those. That's why everyone talks about how clutch is like the hardest thing. It's so hard to learn how to be.
That's
clutch.
Why like the more events you're in, the more likely you're going to be put in those situations where you're actually able to get practice and experience with it. Like if you're not competing in a tournament like too often, you're not going to get as much experience with stuff like that. Like. Because you can't just be ready for that. You need like some experience.
Yeah, I think experience is the key word there. I think.
Yeah, for sure. You'll be like, oh man, when I play with my friends, it goes the last stock, last hit all the time, and I could clutch it out against my friends, and then the money on the line, the eyes on you, your hands just. Oh my god!
Start thinking about other shit. Your mind starts wandering. That is true fucking top player privilege, is when the other person starts thinking, I'm about to make a huge upset, and it's going to be a big deal, and then it's a mental barrier that you're trying to overcome while trying to beat somebody else. You start thinking about other shit. Twitter followers, the tweet, everything fucking starts bubbling up, and you fucking lose your mind, and you start mashing back here, and you just die. And you lose, and then you go to losers like nothing ever happened. It's all fucking fantasy, you know.
Yeah.
You literally
gotta
think of
keep your mind
everything
straight.
that's not the match. You
And then
think
the
of
top
everything
player-
that's not gonna win you the game. Like
True. It's so true though. You got to be able to composure. There you go. That's another good word. That's another good buzzword for it in competition for sure.
The top player that you
Composure.
almost beat wasn't even considering it a possibility after the fact.
Yeah, just chilling like
Like,
oh man, GG's, dude.
yeah, they're like,
yeah,
oh,
what,
yep.
what secondary should I go in my next round? Like, you know, what the hell, man?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's true.
Back to the
Pretty
world
troll.
tour, bro. Back to the world tour.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah,
Fair enough.
Damn, we went down the rabbit hole, dude.
yeah. Charles was talking about like Mexico as a region, and I really enjoy like the general stuff I see from Mexico in Smash 4 and Ultimate. Like I talked about this like during my stream. The general way they play the game, not obviously not every single player, but a very common thing I see from Mexico is in terms of general playstyle, they kind of remind me of Japan, like very defensive. But they do it with like different archetypes. With Japan, there's like a lot of zoners and stuff, but in Mexico, it's like a lot of sword fighters and a lot of stuff like that. In both games. So they're very like neutral, very defensive, you know, lots of sword characters, or like something like Palutena is like very similar in that category. And I see a lot of that, so it's very interesting to watch because like sword characters or something or stuff like that is something like I've like had a lot of experience with as well. So it just reminds me of like a way I would approach the game when I watch Mexico, and it was very enjoyable. Yeah, obviously Game & Watch does not apply here, but
Well, of course, like every player's gonna have that, but it also gives more cred to Meister, in my opinion, because he like
this meta
Game &
is
Watch
like
struggles against the
anti-Game
archetype. So
Watch.
like the fact that he does so well in
Yeah.
that region is like mind blowing to me. Just
Yeah.
like really, really good player, really
that's why it's such a-
understands what to do.
That's why he's such a hardened soul and destroys all of our mashers. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We just can't help ourselves. We see shield, it's like a target. Like we just swing at it. He's like, okay, great. Like it sounds good to me, guys.
yeah,
That's how he got good though. It's kind of going back to what you're saying, Charles. His region made him stronger because in order to fight sword characters with Game & Watch, you got to be really. I mean, you got to give Meister a ton of credit. Every other Game & Watch I think in the world gave up on him except for Meister, and he did it in a region where it would have been so easy to throw in the towel and just be like, I'm not fighting this Lucina early on, especially early Lucina's, Ike's, Ivysaur's. Like nope, I don't want anything to do with this.
Yeah.
Even Belmont's at the time, like that could not have been fun. But yeah, he did it, man. He really did. So he became. He was getting anti-meta'd by his own character, and then he became it
Yeah.
himself. You know what I'm saying? Like it just kind of came full circle. Like he
Yeah.
earned it, you know?
yeah.
Right.
But yeah, so
who got? I know the top 4. Do you know the other top 8? Like the other 4 of the top 8?
Yeah, so it was, let's see here. Leo, Spargo, obviously.
Yeah,
Meister, Chag, who's amazing.
yeah,
I know
very
we all
good.
watched. I know we all watched him in Smash 4 as well.
Chag is
Speaking
like
of Larry, shout out to
exactly
Larry.
Chag is like exactly what I just described.
Yep.
Yeah. Like very strong neutral defensive player with Palutena, like walls you out, really good.
Here's some really interesting confirms.
Yeah, he gets creative
Yeah.
too with like up tilts and all that stuff.
I
Narrow
love when
tilt. He likes to go for narrow.
love when Palus do the narrow.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of swaggy, to be honest.
Dude,
with
he
you.
did
I
this
really
like
do.
down throw onto the Yoshi platform, landing there up tilt on a tech away, and I was like, that was perfect.
That was sick.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Just taking
I kinda
advantage
Palu,
of like
honestly.
because even with the patches they like kind of took away from Palu, but they gave her a little bit, right? Like
Yeah.
they increased the knockback on up tilt and stuff like that. For me, I love seeing
That's perfect.
like
yeah.
okay, I'm gonna use like my tools differently now, right? Like obviously before I never wanted to falling there into up tilt, even though that was a thing before because it never killed, but now it does. So like now it's kind of just weird because some of the stuff you discovered before that like okay I can do this, but why would I do this, right? And then it's like oh snap, like they kind of moved some different values on the moves, right? Where it's like now I maybe not want to fish for this, but more so fish for that. Like it was cool because you saw a lot of that happen in Smash 4 with Diddy too, right? Where it's like they nerfed him really hard, obviously because he was like stupid broken, but like then it's like okay instead of down tilt up air, I'm gonna down tilt up smash now, which kills later, but like it still kills, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like switch everything with up air with a different move, and now suddenly he's like, because up air just did everything before. It didn't matter. Pre-patch up air was God, dude.
Yeah. That move.
Let me see who. There are a couple other people I really like watching too. Alan Dis, the Snake, if you watched him, that maybe. Yeah. By the way, Smash.gg needs dark mode. I don't know if it hasn't. I just haven't seen it. But watch my face. Look at this. This is ridiculous. I'm like blinded by this site. Anyway, Alan Dis is super.
Good Snake.
B and I really enjoyed watching his gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
He did a bit of all the Snake stuff. He did a bit of everything.
Mm-hmm. I watched him play against Meister, and you could tell he knows he plays matchups really well. It's like the thing that I kind of noticed about him because he didn't pull grenades against Game & Watch. Like obviously you're not supposed to, but he's playing against, I forget who else he was playing against, but I just really like the way he played matchups. Like he has a good eye for the game and for specifically playing against characters and not just having like a different like kind of try to approach, which I feel like I kind of do as a player. You approach every matchup the same way until it doesn't work, then you have like
your main like general flow chart, and like it's not like matchups to some people. It's just like hopefully my flow chart works. And like Snake is the perfect character to fall into that habit because his flow chart is so generally strong. But there's matchups that aren't going to work like that, and that's where a lot of people can crumble because they're not willing to play the matchup rather than play their character. And that's like the real test of a player, like it's like one of the real tests of a player because not every matchup is perfect. So
that's how you get character specialists. You see them do shit with your character and you're like, how do they do that? Like that doesn't make any sense. It's because they sit there and they grind it out. I don't know. You have options when you run into a tough matchup with the character. You can either you have three options. You can stick with it and grind it out with your current character. You can pick up a new character to try to figure it out, or you just keep losing. Like those are your three options. That's it.
I don't like that third one.
Third one, a lot of people pick it.
Surprisingly, a lot of people pick it. But it's because
popular option. You wouldn't think that, but the third pick, answer C, is actually the most popular option in the community.
It's like an 85%.
A very strong 85%, as we see here on the charts.
I think it's a lot of people they haven't actually acknowledged that, like what we're talking about, where they don't realize that the flowchart isn't working. They view it as like very black and white, and it's like, okay, this matchup sucks. Like, look, when I do this, it doesn't work. Instead of like, like approaching it differently, playing a new character. Like, honestly, that happens in every level of play. Top level, low level. Like, a lot of people are like, they strictly view the game through their character's perspective, and sometimes they have a hard time, like, breaking out of it.
Yeah. It's pretty common with Snake too.
Yeah.
With mid-level Snakes, because Snake is a character where around like 70 to 80% of your matchups you can play the exact same way every single time. He's probably one of the more like consistent top tiers, I want to say, not like in a matchup chart consistent way, because I don't think that. I'm saying like in terms of like how he plays his matchup, like Snake for the most part can always play his game. That's a very like strong trait that not a lot of characters have. A lot of other characters like they got to play like some certain way, and then it's like
molded a little bit.
Well, but like against this archetype or this like all these different archetypes, I have to like play more like this or more like that. Snake, you can usually play like the same way most of the time, which is why I think Snake players get into like this kind of weird vortex of like, and even especially at mid level, I'll even watch Snakes like not know what to do if like their opponent's not coming into them. They're like, wait, what? Like, I'm setting up all these grenades and you're not approaching me. Like, whoa, this is like, this is crazy. Like, how am I supposed to apply pressure to you? You know what I mean? Obviously that's like at the lower and mid level, but yeah, like I think that's a big reason why the Snake players kind of get trapped in that like thought vortex where they just like, I just keep doing this and I win. Right, I just need to get really good at doing this particular thing, and like that's how I will become a better Snake player. But actually, it's more so like you need to get really good at like playing against characters that like destroy this strategy, and that's kind of how you ascend. Because like obviously you still have to work on that base strategy too, but like that's where you're gonna get capped out in certain matchups or certain strategies.
Yep, everybody used to. I would go to like my locals. Back when I played Lucas, which tells you it's like 2 years ago, and I would play against Snake, and it would be like, dude, Lucas destroys Snake, and I would just be like, what? And they're like, you just absorb my stuff, and I was like, bro,
like, have you seen your normals? Have you like literally like just rush someone down with
press
Snake?
down
like,
to it right now?
That is a thing.
You can use it, bro. Like I
literally slap me up like the
that's
fit.
just an example. Like they'll be like, oh my god, like they have a reflector, they can absorb it. Like Game & Watch, oh, they get a bucket if I use my grenades. Well, guess I lose. Like,
and that's what I really like, kind of bringing it back to Alan Dis, because he played I love it with Snake. I call it's like Karate Snake because he doesn't pull any grenades,
Yeah.
any explosives. Like he's like trying to fight you. It's like it's kind of funny.
He's
to
just
watch.
a dude. He's literally just a dude.
Regular man. Yeah, exactly. But
It's taijutsu Snake, bro. It's Rock,
Yeah.
Rock Lee, dude. He's
karate
coming
man.
in hot.
That's what I call him. He's a karate guy. Like he just does karate on you. Like that's it. He doesn't pull grenades or use guns or anything or explosives. But watching him play, he played a good Rob Big Boss early in the tournament. He played that amazingly because he was taking the gyro, throwing it in the air, which people don't do anymore. Everyone tries to get combos on Rob, which is also fine. But I think like a good strategy is
A good
just
middle
disarming
ground or
him.
something.
Just
Yeah.
get rid of it. Take it, chuck it up, and now Snake suddenly wins neutral. Like that's what's happening.
Yeah.
And he played that matchup great. So he showed it was awesome to watch him. That was the first match I commentated for him because he showed that he knew how to play matchup specific shit, right? He wasn't just taking the gyro and throwing it back at Rob. That's cool. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And then when he played Meister, he didn't pull a single grenade. I think he pulled 2, maybe throughout all 3 games because he got 3-0'd.
I think it's weird because like the risk of pulling the grenade is so high, but part of me feels like sometimes you gotta do it.
I think you're good until he gets 2. Once it gets 2, then you gotta stop. Like that's it's a stoplight. It's green and then it's yellow. It's like all right, you can't speed through this. Or you're gonna get red. Like you're gonna get it's gonna be bad if you keep going.
Yeah.
But I think you're fine to do that.
How Wolf in the mid range sometimes has to shoot laser against Game Watch. Just you have to.
It's with obviously like I can talk about the specifics of that matchup, but you can instead of using laser as like a zoning tool and like chipping away your opponent, use a laser as more of like a whiff punishing like reactionary move against Game Watch. And it's really good because if they're gonna do bucket, you can kind of play reactionary with it. And at a lot of ranges, Wolf can dash attack bucket from like across the stage. So that's like I think Snake had like obviously he can't just do like the same exact game plan as Wolf laser because it's like not the same, but like sometimes you gotta like let your opponent know that you're not afraid to like do like the dangerous thing and like kind of find like a new use for it. Something like that is always interesting.
I also feel like you should already have like some sort of setup ready for like if you throw the grenade and they decide to bucket.
Just like punishing it.
You like hard punish it and they're like, did I even bucket this anymore? And just like,
that hurt.
And then
do I want to do that again?
Exactly, because now they're not just gonna like see an explosive and just bucket it. Like maybe they won't even try it next time. Like that's like very interesting stuff.
It becomes a whole mind game. It becomes a lot more interesting than just trying to box it out. You know what I mean? Which is there's 2 different ways to kind of approach it. Is either you kind of gamble with the tools that you have, or you take a whole new approach to it. I think he did a good combo of both, honestly. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still Meister in a favorable matchup for Game & Watch, which is going to be really hard to overcome anyway. But it is what it is.
So
he's fun to watch, and Nair too. Oh, sorry, I don't know if you guys have. Nair's sick. Nair's obviously sick.
Big Boss, Nair. There's
there should be Andric, Cloudy.
Andric, yep.
Did Cloudy make it?
Cloudy did not.
No, he qualified last chance. He got knocked out, but he still had the last chance qualifier.
I thought Andric won the qualifier.
I think they both did, right? I think 2.
Oh yeah, there's 2. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
That's so Andric and Cloudy qualified.
In my memory, I don't know.
Okay.
Cloudy's really good. I'm sure you're watching him, Marcus, but he's really fucking
I remember
good.
seeing Andric versus Cloudy though, or
Really
do they
good.
both make it and it's just for seeding?
Yeah, I think they played each other like in the proper bracket, and then they both qualified through losers. I think that's how it went. I haven't looked at it.
Because the last set we watched, Charles, was Andric versus Cloudy in the last chance, and Andric won. So what does that mean? I know that for sure.
Just he gets a better seeding.
Oh.
So top 2 from last chance qualifier qualify.
Okay, I got it. Okay.
So top 2 from last chance qualifier, just like top 6, but when it's top 2 and they're fighting it out, they're fighting for their seed.
Got it. So those are 2 more players. There's Nair, Big Boss. And that's probably, I think that's most of the players.
Like that
Fargo, Leo, Meister, Chag, Nair, Alan Dis, Stronghold, Big Boss.
We're gonna have a Ridley. That's so tight.
Stronghold, the Mario?
Mario, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, I pulled up the online qualifier. I didn't even know this was a page. I like kind of accidentally clicked on it. But the most used characters, the top 5, Pyra and Mytho were number 1, 120 uses in the bracket. For Game.
My god!
Game & Watch second at 85. Rob after that at 69.
Rob is always.
Yeah, he will be. Yep, absolutely. And then Snake and Cloud are the last 2. It's interesting because we'll kind of get this data for like what a region kind of plays as in terms of
what they like.
Kind of, it's pretty cool actually. I didn't even think about the data. Sure, PG stats is like fucking obviously, dude. Like that's a huge part of this. Like you can kind of see what what characters represent what regions and vice versa. So that's pretty cool. I didn't even know that was a page.
Rob is always like one of the most popular characters every time, every tournament, every region, like every time.
He's good. He's a really good character.
He has everything.
He's so, dude. He's one of those characters I love to punch his face though. You know, it's so satisfying to hit him.
Yeah,
I love getting robbed.
I love that matchup so much. I love that matchup.
So I think this will be. Actually, we'll finish talking about World Tour, but like another topic I want to like go into is like if we could like buff / nerf characters. I think that would be like a fun thing to talk about.
Why not?
Right?
Why not?
But like so but I do want to have like a little bit more talk about Smash World Tour. I thought it was really fun to watch Leo's Mr. Pyra, even though it was like mainly Pyra.
It was different, yeah. It was Pyra.
His Pyra was really fun to watch. It was just really cool to, you know, just see Leo. Leo's Byleth is also like surprisingly really fun to watch.
It's
I don't
so
know.
good.
It's crazy.
Why that should get buffed, dude? That's insane.
Dude, okay, he made the up B look like so broken for recovery. I was like, there were so many times I was like, yeah, Leo's dead, and you just see like whoop, and you're like all the way from downtown, like just clip, and then like he makes. I'm like, dude, this is so crazy.
Yeah.
And then he could also do it on wall stages too, like be really low and just like clip onto the wall, and he would do like some kind of planking stuff that's like not as broken as One Wing Sephiroth, but like still had like some decent mix because you had, but like he would still obviously get punished for it here and there, right?
Yeah.
Off the regrab on reaction or whatever. But like still, it was like really cool to watch, and like, dude, it's to me, it's so like I've had this opinion on Leo for a very long time. I think obviously like just ranking wise he's the best, but I also think just in the individual departments, I think his strongest department is spacing. I don't think there's any other player that like is better than him at spacing like that, and like that is a very big category in Smash. Spacing applies to a lot of situations.
Yeah.
And like Leo is just the best at it, and like when you look at his repertoire of characters in the history, like
it all makes sense.
Abuses it so hard.
Yeah.
Like his Smash 4 Marth, like tippering you at 50 like over and over again, like it wasn't a coincidence. Like he's just really good at hitting a very specific space on a move, and like Byleth kind of gives me those feels where I'm just like, wow, Leo's getting rewarded pretty hard for getting like this tipper bear or this tipper fair. He's like killing people mad early, like or even like the forward smash, catching like ledge jumps with forward smash tipper. I'm just like, holy shit, this is this damn. I didn't think very highly of Byleth when she came out, like at all. I thought she was like dog shit actually, like because of her air drift. I thought she was bad. I thought she was really bad.
I didn't think she was very good either. I was not impressed.
I was like, man.
I
thought she was okay. I thought she was fine.
I will hold that L though. I was wrong.
No, you weren't. She got buffed. We were right. She's bad.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, yes, I have that option select. I was right. Sick, dude. Those buffs really like came through.
Changed
obviously,
everything.
Buffs.
Every move got buffed. Like everything.
Yeah. And then it's proof because Leo did well at Smash World Tour, so we know that these buffs are in full effect, getting top 2.
All right. Anyway, I had a conversation with the former best player in Smash 4, and I was watching Leo versus Salem. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was Salem. I was standing next to him, and I was like, you know, it's really weird that Leo has these certain habits that you won't really notice unless like you're staring at his gameplay and you're like kind of in awe of it, and you're like, but he rolls in this specific spot, or he does this in this specific spot.
Oh,
and
the Leo roll? Yeah, the Leo roll.
And I realized that it's because he plays from a specific distance always in his spacing. Because he plays from that distance so often, he is so comfortable in that distance, and nobody, like, it's why he's so successful. Like, nobody in the world can contest him from a certain distance on the screen. It's just how it goes. And he was like, yep. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, I mean, of course I know that, because, you know, he was the best and he would be Leo all the time. But it was just something that I don't think a lot of people have noticed. I mean, obviously you've noticed because you just said something about the spacing, but he plays from a specific distance, and if you let him play from that distance, then he's going to win the interaction.
Yep.
He does in terms of spacing, like it's a little bit, not a little bit, it's a lot knowledge based too. Like he knows where, Like if you swing at him in the air, he knows if he has to pull the trigger on an air dodge or something, or move back or jump or whatever. He saves resources really well by knowing the spacing so well. You know what I'm saying? Which gives him more options and a better flow to his gameplay overall. And I mean, you want to talk about spacing? Excellent, sword player from Mexico, Spargo. He won the damn tournament, dude, and he's just it's deja vu all over again, man. It really is. You see this Cloud from Mexico just tearing it up, and he's the real deal, man. He really is. I'm glad he proved it too, because for a while people were saying, nah, Spargo, he's just a Wi-Fi Cloud or whatever, spamming up B. He got to prove that shit. He's the real deal.
He plays quite fast.
Yeah.
I think he's fun to watch.
Yeah.
Have a good time with him.
This it's for Cloud standards, it's faster than normal.
Yes.
It's more like, I don't even know, a fast sword. It's like almost like Roy or something.
I can confidently say, like, he is the best Cloud, even if like Tweek or Leo were to pick up Cloud. Like right now, obviously, like it could be different with some time or whatever. But like if like Gavin or Leo play Cloud and Spargo play Cloud, I think Spargo would have the best Cloud. And like that takes a lot.
Yeah.
I know how good Gavin and Leo's Cloud is, even if they don't play them or play the character. Like just like their fundamentals and like their like even past experience with Cloud in Smash 4, and just kind of generally knowing like what to replace in the game. That takes a lot for me to say that about someone's Cloud. And yeah, I think it's just absolutely true. I think he's the best Cloud by far, even in terms of just like how he uses like all the new ultimate tools. And I can watch for like I have a very specific way I look at the game. I can watch a player and they can like beat certain top players, right? Like they can have the results, but like for me to kind of like bridge that from like high level player to top level player, for that bridge in like the way I see the game, like you have to meet certain criterias when I'm watching you play. It's not just your results. I need to see like how you move. I need to see how you push advantage. I need to see how you get out of disadvantage, right? Like how do you play every aspect of the game, and how are you going to be able to apply that to be consistent in an offline tournament environment? And like Spargo is starting, for me at least, to like hit all those check marks. And especially when I see Spargo's movement, I talk about this a lot. Like top level players have purposeful movement. They don't just move to move, and they have very specific staggers when it matters, right? Like they know when to stop moving. They know to like when to like go into like I'm pure reaction mode. I'm not moving. I'm like solely just like in the zone, like just trying to react here, right? Like they know when and where to do that, and where to like mix in movement like that as well. And also they know how to like move like that to the point where it's so fast that they can like keep doing different reps to like give you like, they have speed mix-ups. Like they're playing the game so fast that they're using the literal speed of how they're moving to mix you if you're like at that higher or top level player. Like if like they start doing the mix-ups where it's like, oh, you're a good player, like I'm gonna literally use your reactions against you, right? So it's like, and I'm like starting to see Spargo do that, where like his movement has a lot of purpose to it, and he has the speed, and he's starting to understand like certain like reaction windows of where like top players react in certain situations. So like that, for me to say that about a player, like I don't hand that out easily. Like it takes it takes a lot for me to like say that about somebody's play.
Are you saying you think highly of MK Leo and Tweek's play? Is that what you're saying right now? Controversial opinion? Hot take?
Actually, no, they're trash. No. Like, obviously, I've thought about that. Like, they've had that since Smash 4, obviously, right? Like, so it's tough to play at that level at Smash 4. But, like, like, it seems like a very simple thing, like, purposeful movement that's very fast, but has, like, specific staggers. But, like, that's very, very hard to do. It's very hard to do. It takes, like, an extreme... The speed part takes sheer amount of just playtime. Like if you play the game a lot, you can get that speed, but like you don't like the purpose. You don't get that unless you have the experience. Like you could just grind all the time, and you could play super fast, but you don't know like why you're doing it in those specific situations, right? Like the purpose isn't there. So it's like it's a combination of like sheer amount of playtime and like having that experience. And on top of that, Spargo's like extremely young, so he's starting to have this at an extremely young age, and like newsflash, a lot of like top players and stuff like that, like Gavin had that too when he was like growing up, when he was very young. Like he like achieved that level when he was extremely young, and like it's super broken. Like Leo too, right? So it's like you're looking at like the best players in Smash in terms of like. But my main point is like, does history repeat itself? And like I'm here to say, like, if I were to put money on it, like yeah. So it's like
dude.
I think that like there are just a very few things that like Sparkle will have to adjust to. Like there are specific online situations that you can't do offline, right? And like he plays so much online that I think the biggest hurdle when offline tournaments do come back is just making sure you don't do like those very specific Wi-Fi habits. And I'm not saying he's carried by Wi-Fi, but there are things you do on Wi-Fi that you can get away with that you cannot get away with on offline. You know what I mean? And like,
For sure.
and me, like I said, me and Gavin talked about this. And one example Gavin brought up in terms of like Wi-Fi, it's like roll into reversal. That does not happen offline. I'll tell you right now, you're getting ledge trapped by a top 10 player. You will never get a roll into like cloud forward tilt. Like, because that forward tilt also takes a lot of time, right? So it's like, that'll never happen, right? But like, so it's like those little like specific situations, they don't necessarily carry Sparkle, but he's got to be very aware that like he cannot get away with that in an offline like LAN environment, right? So, and I mean that's not even that hard too, right? Like you'll generally know what's better on Wi-Fi, but you just gotta like adapt your play to it. But like he has like the core base stats to do that, so it's like I definitely think he can do it.
You should talk about what makes fighting each competitor special, like against their playstyles and shit. Yeah, I was actually just thinking about stuff like that. I was like, they were talking about Leo spacing. It's like, it sounds like we're talking about like superheroes or something. It's like such a, they're like this top player is like really good at this specifically. Like no one else is that good at it. It's like, as a general Smash fan, like that's just so like cool, and I love talking about stuff like that. So I mean, yeah, it's up to everyone else, but yeah, the World Tour was.
I'm down to go through the top 10.
Yeah, especially you three. Like you guys, like I could definitely see you guys having very specific things to say about stuff like that.
Yeah, let's do it. Hell yeah, that's awesome. I mean, you're the one who plays them. Well, I mean, I played a couple of them, but it doesn't quite go the same way. I'm sure there's levels that are missing when we're playing each other, but when I watch them, I know what's going on. Playing is a whole. I think everyone feels that way.
Playing is very different. You can't like it's way, especially when like you're playing someone better than you, and you have to like go 120% and they're going like 40%, and like you're just like barely keeping up or whatever, right? Like you don't have like the mental processing to like understand, like be able to like after the game be like, oh yeah, that one specific scenario, blah blah blah, and then this into this. Like you're just like, oh man, like
it's a blur.
I was just putting so much mental effort into like trying to react and shit. Like right, it's just like a blur.
That's why you gotta watch the VODs. That's why you gotta watch VODs.
Right,
I think that's like the best. One of the best ways to improve it's not actually just playing. I think watching VODs is like so important. Like, I don't think there's the same person who does it.
Are we doing 1 through 10 or are we doing 10 through 1? Because we already did 1.
Are we actually doing? Oh, we're actually doing this?
Yeah, I'm down to do it.
Super down to do. This is like my favorite shit about Smash because like people literally like craft their play style around their strengths. That's like a very common thing, and like people think like, oh yeah, that only happens at lower level. Like no, top level player, like they definitely abuse that crap. Like they 100% do do
10 through 1. Start with light.
What do you guys want, chat?
Start with light.
People want to hear about light.
There's 2 people saying
Wait,
light.
is light number 10 or something else?
He's number 10.
Oh, okay.
Light is fucking. He's an amazing parrier for sure. Second best in New England next to me. He's really good. No, he's the way he controls the tempo of the game. I think is the best thing about Light in terms of the way he puts pressure with his movement and his defensive tools. You saw a lot in Smash 4 too when he had the perfect pivoting on lock, and he keeps that up in Ultimate. So to me, it's about pacing in the game and his reactions. Yeah, that's a good point. He's great at up smashing. Is probably the other thing. He's really good at up smashing. Really talented at up smashing.
What's weird about his up smashes is that like he'll do like empty hop and he'll just sit in front of your shield for like a second and a half and just be like, I think it's time to up smash, and that joint just hits, and you're like,
it's the pacing shit, dude. He just knows. He knows when people get antsy. Like he understands the flow of the game super, super well, in my opinion.
My favorite 2 things about Light, other than like the obvious one, is like tech chase machine.
That dude does not miss a tech chase.
Like, he is the best. I think when he's on point, he's the best tech
it's kind of like
the entire
the whole like Fox killing question and debate is like it's always very interesting because like technically like it should be pretty easy, but then like sometimes there's weird moments. But with Light, it's like if he gets the opportunity, it's a kill confirm basically, like all the time.
Yes.
The other thing about Light, this was especially in 4. I think I'm just more used to him now, like when I watch him. But in 4, he would do really strange things for the time. But after he'd do them, I'd be like, that made sense. That was optimal. Like, that was great. But like every other Fox never saw stuff like that. He'd do crazy, weird options, crazy combos, crazy follow-ups. And then I would be like, what the heck? Like in the moment. But then after it happened, I'd be like, yeah, like, I think I would try to do that too. Like I think that's like optimal and makes sense. Like it's just crazy. Like for such a basic character like Fox, it felt like he really got creative with it.
That dude be putting you in some weird positions.
Really
like,
weird spots.
Weird spots. You're like, what? How did I even end up here from a down tilted 3? Like,
yeah.
I'm at 60 at like this 45-degree angle and I have to make an immediate decision and he's gonna react to whatever I do. It's like it's tough. It's tough.
And I think too with him, he came into Smash 4 a little late. Like he did not start, like he didn't like come from Brawl and then move into Smash 4. He didn't even start when Smash 4 started. He kind of came in halfway through. I don't know if you guys like knew when he really entered the scene. So I think that's kind of where this unique perspective comes from. And I mean, first off, he's a beast at a couple of other games. He's really good at Dragon Ball Fighters. I don't know if you guys knew that too. But he's just like good at games. Yeah, he's good. Like he saw, like we did there's a big Connecticut regional that was held at one of our casinos here, and it had a ton of fighting games. He got second in Fighters and first in Smash. Like he's really good at games, and I think since he wasn't like one of those legacy Foxes that like kind of grew up and played the character the whole way through, I think he brought like a unique perspective to it, and that kind of added up to that funky shit that he freestyled, you know, his way to in 4, and that carried forward to Ultimate too, because he's, you know, one of the few people making that character work still as best he can. So I
want to hear what Charles has to say, especially because he's a Fox player. I need to hear Charles' thoughts on Light.
Okay, so I will come out and I will say I think I know, like, of everyone here, I know the most about Light, and I think that's mainly because of Fox player. I understand Haz like from his region, but like, okay, let me.
Haz isn't here to deny it. Haz isn't here to deny it.
Let me literally break down like what makes.
Well, I have wireless headphones. I heard that whole fucking thing. I know. And let me tell you. No, I'm kidding. I get it. You honestly probably watched it. No, you probably watched him more than I did, honestly. I mean, I watched him when I commentated him and when he played out of region, but so I only watched like his main tournaments. You probably watched pretty much everything he did. I watched him a lot.
The biggest Light fanboy here. Yes,
probably. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm the biggest Void fan. I know the most about Void. If you guys have any questions about him, let me know.
You know, his combos are sick, right?
We came from Hawaii together. You know, we grew up. All right, go up. I know you got it. As a Fox player, it's different. It is actually different, like because you play the character.
So Light revolutionized Smash 4 Fox, and I will say this: I didn't like it at first. I didn't like it.
Dude,
when I watched,
that's what I'm saying. Like it was weird, man. It was weird.
The first time I watched Light, I was like, "This Fox is dog shit." He plays Smash Stick. Now, I might like sound kind of like an asshole, which like sometimes I can be, but like I watched him. He was playing Void at Shine, and I was like, Void better not lose this Fox. This Fox sucks. Like I was like, this Fox is so bad. Like he's playing Smash Stick. He's like not doing perfect pivot tilt combos. Like he was at that moment like. The Fox community in Smash 4 thought it was figured out. We all thought Fox was figured out. You run tilt stick, you do these perfect pivot tilt combos. Like that's how it is. That's how like the blueprint is. Don't go off the blueprint. You gotta like this is the optimal shit. We already figured it out. And then Light came in. He was like, "What? You guys like?" There's so much more to this character, right? And like as someone that's like, you know, from Brawl and like thinks that, you know, he knows all about the game or whatever, I just didn't like how he was playing. I was like, that's you don't do that. Like you're not supposed to do that. And then like he beat Void and I was so pissed. I missed Void. I was like, how'd you lose to that Fox? He was so bad. And then Void was like, no, dude, I think he's really good. And then like the more I watched the Light, Void knew. Of course. The more I watched Light, I was like, wait a minute, he's doing like fair drag down and then he reacts on the tech chase, right? So it's like before, like no one would go for that, right? And then since he has Smash Stick, his tech chase up smashes are more consistent. Because like here's the thing about tilt stick, it's like it's optimal. It's on paper, if you are a robot, it's optimal, right? Because you never fuck up your up smashes, you never fuck up your smash attacks, right? But I will tell you right now, we're not robots, right? So it's like in a human perspective, when you take Smash Stick, you are saying whatever your yellow stick is, that's consistency, right? So it's like you look and you only can set it to one thing. You can't have two. So it's like, okay, if you're a tilt stick, C sticker, like you're going to have very consistent tilts, right? But your smash attacks will be less consistent. But if you go with smash stick, it'll be vice versa, right? Light goes with smash stick in Smash 4, he loses access to perfect pivot tilt combos. But when he tech chases, when he gets like his nair up smashes, like he never misses any of them. Like he always gets his up smashes. And Light's specific playstyle, the reason why I think going into Ultimate he was by far the best Fox and nobody else came close, is because the way he played Fox in Smash 4, it like that is the way you're supposed to play Fox in Ultimate. That's actually the optimal way to play Fox. And like it wasn't necessarily the optimal way to play Fox in 4, right? Because you lost so much stuff. But like in Ultimate, you didn't have perfect pivot tilt, so it was like literally like just perfect for him.
Yeah.
Obviously in Smash 4, he still made it work, and it was like kind of a throw up at the end of Smash 4, like who was better. And I actually think Light just got better placements at the end of Smash 4 over Larry.
Yeah.
So it was like, but it was like hard to tell. There was a very little amount of data. It was like kind of still a toss up, but like on paper, Light was like the best Fox at the end of Smash 4. But like he made it work with his playstyle and went for more like tech chase stuff with like fair drag downs instead of extending with perfect pivots, more so turning like, oh, instead of like doing this perfect pivot combo which automatically nets me 80, I run smash stick, but like I'm also just really good as a player at tech chasing, so I'm going to set up this fair drag down and go for that. So I think Light is he spiced up the Fox meta in Smash 4 like to a crazy amount, to the point where at the end of Smash 4 I didn't think Fox was done like being developed because of the shit Light did.
Opened up your eyes a little bit.
You mix both of them, right? Like it was crazy. Like the Fox wasn't done being developed. And then just going in Ultimate, like I said, playing Fox the way he did was like optimal in Ultimate because we lost perfect pivot, we lost a bunch of stuff, right? And like I just think Light as a player, he's just really good at tech chasing. He understands like the mental aspect of the game really well, in a sense of like he knows when to land up smashes. Up smash with Fox is just extremely laggy, so if you don't know when and where to use it, it's like you're gonna get fucked really hard. Like sometimes he has to guess. Sometimes like Fox just has to get that read, and he's like so good at getting that read. He knows exactly when you're scared of like Fox's certain options and stuff, and like he just plays the game really fast. I think like in terms of like Fox is Light's perfect character. I really don't see Light playing another character. Like he might for certain matchups or whatever, but in terms of like what character fits him and his strengths, it's like Fox by a long shot. Like by an absolute long shot. He has the speed to like completely overwhelm his opponent if he needs to. He like knows when people are scared and knows when to like take advantage of that and like nail the up smash. And then on top of that, like his reactions are so good, specifically at tech chasing when he's on point, like he just doesn't miss. And on top of all that, he prefers to play with smash stick, which like strengthens all of those things he likes to do. So it's it's a cool, like Light is such a cool example of like you can like say, like imagine Light's POV, right? Like, oh cool, I want to get into Smash. Goes into like a Fox Discord, looks at all the stuff. It's like, yep, this is all the stuff that it's already figured out. This is here, just do this and you win.
Yeah.
And then Light's like, well, I kind of like playing like this, and I like playing with these settings, and I don't like tilt stick. I like smash stick. And like he literally like pioneered his own way to play the character when the game was like already developed in a sense, or like we thought it was developed, right? And like has even said he came in like halfway through Smash 4. So it's like I think it's so cool that like I think that's what makes Smash so like cool and unique. And you can definitely do this in other fighting games as well, but like like Smash has like so many different stats like going on like on a hit, and like so much crazy like attributes. Like if you just look on Ultimate frame data and like look at literally like weight, fall speed, gravity, like it's literally overwhelming. And it's so cool to see players like kind of gravitate towards their own strength and like do different strategies that like usually or like are seen like not right, or like that's not how you're supposed to do it, and they just like come in and just like, actually I'm just gonna fucking do it. And you got to hold that L. It's like I don't know, it's so cool. It's like it's anime as fuck. I don't know.
Yeah, you guys were West Coast like Fox heaven. You had Larry, Charlie, Eon.
We thought we had it all figured out. It was like Fox. Yeah, like
you guys had the best Foxes, and this punk from New England comes around, and he starts making some waves and shit. You're like, no, he's not even when he was getting results. Nope, he's not the real deal. And it takes, honestly, so I have so much respect for the kid. Don't ever tell him I said that, because he'll never let me live it down. But I have so much respect for the kid, because he did stick to his guns, and he made, the smash stick style. It was a little controversial for him to do that. But I saw him when I was a believer, And I told him this. I was like, I saw him do a perfect pivot down smash to catch a re-grab of the ledge, and I was like, I'm sold. You're right. Yep, that's great.
And you
yep,
can't do that. You couldn't
figured
do that
it
with
out.
tilt stick. You couldn't do that with tilt stick. So
It was
like
beautiful.
he was literally like, oh well, you guys do perfect pivot like tilts to extend combos. Like I can literally like do perfect pivot into like react 2 frame, and like you cannot do that input. Like you cannot do perfect pivot smash attack. You had to do it with the C stick, so you only had access to one or the other. And yeah, like I said, like even for me, like I remember like at first, like when I saw him, just I had no respect for him. I was like, this is stupid, like blah 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 blah. And then
Insane.
like after the next couple of matches and like just seeing what he was doing and like seeing how he was growing as a player, like he was like one of the players that I had the most respect for. I was like, dude, that takes so much hard work to do to like revolutionize a character like that. You know what I mean? And I don't know, it's just he's definitely like one of my favorite players just to like watch as like someone who loves like playing and watching Fox. But even just like play style wise, it's so cool for him to like apply and like almost force like his play style into like viability almost. It's like it's so sick to see.
Yeah,
But stubbornness, dude.
I think like for Haz, like seeing Light the way he played like probably wasn't as weird, but for me when I'm first seeing it, like I didn't know like I didn't know exactly when he started playing and all that. So for Haz, it might make sense that he plays so different. But for me, I'm just like, like in the moment, whenever he'd do something different, I'd be like, wait. Like I've seen Fox a million times. Like this isn't what I'm used to.
Yeah, it's weird.
It took a while.
I remember. So everyone, New England has a bunch of sub-regions, all the different states that we have. So Connecticut was starting to make a lot of noise about Light because he started beating Ling Ling, who was, previously always #1 in Connecticut for Brawl and Smash 4. Light, we're like, yeah, we'll see what happens. So we had our big regional in Massachusetts, which had 9 members of the New England PR at the moment, and I think Light beat every single one of them in that bracket after we all talked shit about him, including myself. Wow, banger 3-game set. Yeah, Mars included when Mars was #1. He tore through that bracket, man, and he went into losers. And at this point, I'm a little convinced that he did it on purpose, just so he beat everyone's ass.
Oh my god,
that's how he is. I don't know if
That is
it's
definitely
or not,
The right thing to do.
Yeah,
Like
but
would
New
do
England,
that shit.
it's a strong ass region. We're a tough region for sure, and he beat everybody. And we're like, oh fuck, we have two knuckleheads to cheer for now. You know what I'm saying? Like, great. Now we gotta figure out how to cheer for him and Mars at the same time or whatever. But yeah. he's brilliant, obviously.
He's built different. He's definitely built different.
He is the definition of that.
Yes, 100%.
Dude, he ran that bracket. I was so upset I lost to him because I was like, oh man, I just lost. He's not even ranked or whatever.
There's a timeline where you stopped his like.
Did you see that tweet that I made? I was like, dude,
I didn't see that.
Really? I tweeted like a year or two ago. I was like, dude, there's a timeline in which I beat him and he lost. And he was out of the tournament. And no one cared anymore.
He never played again.
I'm sure he would have continued at it, but that is a timeline that certainly could have.
Yeah, it's just such a funny thought.
Mm-hmm. And he was so good against Bayo, which was a problem for me, obviously. He was so good at that matchup, which is a very volatile 4 Fox only matchup. So yeah, insane. He's crazy.
Yeah.
Number 9.
Oh. Ooh, Dabuz.
Samuel Busby?
Let's talk about it. I'm starting first. First.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, he's got some words. Okay.
Some words?
I literally grew up fighting Dabuz, so
yeah.
With like every multiple more than one game, like multiple characters, like there are some very unique stuff to Dabuz that took a while for me to appreciate because when you're younger, you just like hate losing to Dabuz and like it's super annoying and like you're like, oh my god, this guy's so boring.
You the real world of Smash.
I couldn't imagine like, that's your rival. That's so hard. That's so difficult.
Very difficult, especially when you're young, man. Like there's so many like young player habits and stuff, and Dabuz just slaps you up for it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So
he's ruthless. He absolutely is.
He is like remember when we were talking about the snake and like that type of archetype game plan where it's like this works against a lot of players. Like he has perfected that type of shit. Like,
yes,
and like
absolutely. Even
to the point where like the matchups that it's not supposed to work, it will work. And there's a bunch of really specific stuff to Dabuz where he has really great risk reward like scaling, like
probably some of the best of the players, right?
Yeah, this is a situation you guys are gonna know about, especially if you've watched his Rosa. Have you ever seen him when he goes to the corner without Luma and just shields and lets you throw him off stage? Have you?
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen him do that a million times.
Mm-hmm.
He's, dude, it's such a weird situation. So I would throw him off stage because I'm like, okay, you're shielding, like I'm gonna grab you. But part of me feels like I'm losing for it because I'm giving him time to get Luma while he's recovering. Like stuff like that is like pretty exclusive to Dabuz, and I hated it. So I'm like, this feels like it should be a great situation for me, but like I felt like I'm falling into his hands. Like there's a lot of situations like that with Dabuz.
Activated his trap card, dude. That's exactly what he wanted. I will take 10 damage to get my Luma back.
Exactly.
I'll take 8 damage to get my Luma back. It's like and we talked about this before, but it's like fatality recovering. He's like, I will take 20 damage to put my feet back on the stage. You can up air me twice. You send me higher, that's fine. But if you send me off stage, I'm done. It's like a melee recovery. Yeah. You know, I'll take that 30 damage, but you give me back on stage, give me some rage. It's not going to be good for you, and it's almost exactly what Dabuz does to man. I love
DIing
stuff
up and in. Keep up airing me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Keep up airing me. I am DIing up and in on your combo. Keep up airing me
until your last stock is gone. It doesn't matter, dude.
Dabuz has some of the best disadvantage of any top player.
Yeah,
it sounds crazy.
Kind of goes hand in hand with the risk reward, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like you'll watch him and you'll be like, he about to drift in, air dodge, drift back out, and he'll like start drifting in. You're like, here comes the air dodge, and he'll double jump. He'll be like, all right, well now he doesn't have a double jump. It's cool. Now he's gonna do it, and he just like falls with down air, and you're like, bro, that was so unsafe. But like in your head, you're like, yo, did he just read me like that many times in a row? Like,
yeah,
like.
It's like a very philosophical question with Dabuz. It's like, is he really in disadvantage? Am I just always in disadvantage against him? Like, what the hell happened? Like, how do I not feel good about being in an advantage state against him?
Yeah, it's really weird. It's a weird feeling.
Like he loves the corner, but once he plays against someone that
what a statement on its own
knows that he loves the corner, he uses that to his advantage. So it'll be like, they know that I want to go for the corner, so I'm going to land in the corner and buffer a spot dodge or buffer a roll or something just because I know they're going to immediately swing or immediately grab or something like that. And it's just interesting because Rose is so floaty and Olimar also like
terrible disadvantage. Literally terrible.
They're awful, but somehow he always finds a way to land.
Yes.
And their recoveries aren't even that good either. They have no hitboxes, but he finds a way to recover. It's insane.
He kind of invents it too. Like we would talk about Light being an innovator with Fox. I mean, he without Dabuz, well, Myron too, obviously, but without Dabuz, Olimar, and Rosa wouldn't even be a character in this game.
Nobody for sure
would be touching that character. Yeah,
Kira still plays Rosa in Japan. Like, but like in terms of like our meta, the Western meta.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Good point. But he just like. The way he looks at the game, he breaks it down, man. Like you said, it seems like he always has an answer, and that's because he's done the work. You know what I mean? He truly has. I mean, he's gained the reputation as one of the smartest players, if not straight up the smartest player that we have in Smash for a reason. He's just so smart. He's prepared. I think that's like the best way to put it.
I think that's why some people don't see it. Because he like masters some of the very basics, and to a lot of people, even great players will think like, that was stupid. Why is this working? Like, this is so boring. I hate watching this. You know what I mean? Like the constant rolls or spot dodging. But then we see the way Marcus described it. A lot of people won't understand like the couple extra layers that are going into that. And like I said, when I was younger, I hated it. I was like, I felt like an idiot. I thought the options were really scrubby and like, but then like, you know, when I got older, I'm like starting to get it and appreciate it, and it's like, wow, what amazing practice that was. Because like you said, he breaks it down to the basics and really takes advantage of it, whether it's because of like some sort of thing that his opponent has or whether it's for himself. Like he really understands the basics to an extreme.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of why, like, for a while, I felt like people called him boring or whatever. And I think I wouldn't call it boring. I think it's just you need to be able to actually really appreciate the game and appreciate what he's doing. It's easy to look at it and be like, these aren't cool, flashy combos. He's not going for big dumps all the time.
Because it's the character-specific flowchart, but he like has really mastered it.
It's insanely interesting when you like really get down to it and start thinking about how he's made this work. It's just it's not like the big kind of things that people initially start playing for, you know, like big reads and combos and all crazy offense, but it's all insanely calculated and smart.
We talked about this off stream a little bit, like similar idea. Like we were talking about how, you know, in terms of like popular content, you know, crazy combos or some sort of crazy character, flashy thing. But like there are certain aspects of the game that aren't attractive to the big majority of the community.
Right.
And I think, you know, Dabuz, like a lot of the really interesting stuff about his play might not be interesting at first glance.
Yeah. But I think, and we said this too, Tweek offline, is like if you really want to learn the game though, that's the stuff you got to study. Like you got to study that as much as your advantage state of the stuff that looks cool. In order to get the cool stuff on top players, you need to know all the other basics and master them first as well. And if I was to gamble, if you wanted to learn that stuff from anybody, Dabuz is probably one of the best people literally in the world to ask about that. Like, because that's where his roots are, man, and that's the smartest way to do it. He's been good at so many Smash games for so long, and it's because he does this work, and it's so important. It really is.
And people are talking about the defense. I'm surprised we haven't even talked about. We've kind of talked about specifics, but yeah, Dabuz's general defense is as strong as you can get.
He is the strongest.
If you can play at Dabuz's pacing or play like a similar level to Dabuz's defense, then you've made it. He's always like he's always like a general wall for up and coming players, and like history has always repeated itself. For me, he was like something I really needed to like, you know, like play on level with. And like for a lot of players, like if you can't beat Dabuz or like play like on Dabuz's level, can you really win this major tournament? Probably not.
He's so consistent. You're probably gonna run into him at some point.
He's just the comparison a lot of the time, or like, you know, like, can you do this? And that's like just thinking about like the fact that like he is the comparison for like defense or like consistency. Like that's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah,
defense is such a hard skill to have, man. Working on that's hard. It's not easy to sit there and think about how do I get better being in the defense. It's hard to do. If it was easy, everyone would do it, honestly. Yeah. It's easy to hold forward and try to hit people. That's easy to do. It's fun.
Yeah.
Trying to get better at the other shit, not so much. Sorry, Charles, go ahead.
It's way more vague.
Right, right. And I even have like a perfect example of like what Gavin said of like, if can you win a major if you can't beat Dabuz? And like a lot of the times if you can't, like the answer is no. And a perfect example is the first time Void won a major is when he beat Dabuz for the first time. It was a very hard like Void could pretty much beat like almost like pretty much every other top player, but like for Dabuz it was very specifically hard because Void strength was his pressure game, right? Like at top level play, like even people like Light and Void, like they're not aggro, like they're not like what's your definition of aggro, right? Like committing over and over again with dash attack, like that's just stupid, right? Like you're just committing over and over again. Like aggressive play at top level is you're camping, but like the range where you're camping is different. You're camping right outside of like their burst window and you're weaving in and out and you're trying to like bait them to come in and you're coming back in for a whiff punish. But like it looks aggressive because you're just close, but you're really just like camping at a different distance, right? Whereas like Rob, like, oh, I shoot up top here, so I'm like kind of camping at this distance. I can laser like a little farther or whatever, right? So it's like the Buzz was just like the epitome of like, okay, like you can come in to this distance, but like can you get an attack on me, right? Like he is literally like the epitome of defense in like all levels. And I love that Marcus brought out like even not just in neutral, because a lot of people think like when they think of the Buzz's defense, they think of it as like in neutral game, right? Like can you hit him in neutral game? But it's also when he's in disadvantage, when he's off stage, getting juggled on the ledge. Like he's so good at like getting back on stage and getting his defense back up and running again. Yeah. And like I said, like for Void, the first time he beat the Buzz, he like won that tournament. So it's like for a lot of players, it's like it's almost like a top 10 check or like a can you win this tournament check, because the Buzz is like one of the most consistent players in the top 10 in terms of like even just placements. He's just like always going to be in top 8, I feel like, right? If the Buzz is not in a top 8, it's like a very like
something weird happened. Something weird happened.
Flashcon, because he ran into riddles, you know, shit like that.
Right, like very out of the blue. Like I would say he's probably one of the players that are like least prone to an upset. He's like one of those players. Like he's just super consistent. Like he's not going to get like janked out by like some weird character. Like it still kind of happens to him, but like not really. You know what I mean? And it's just
not
like
gonna happen
it's very
anymore.
Right.
It's not gonna happen anymore. He's got Min. It's over. There's no. He's does not. He's got Min. It's
very
over.
Dabuz
It does not matter. Because I said this about him forever. I'm like, this is the smartest guy we have, and he plays 2 characters that lose to Belmonts. I'm like, there's something wrong here. Like that can't be right. Like that just can't be. That can't be right. Probably a personal anecdote I have about him is we played friendlies at Genesis And it was going pretty well because I play Richter and like I know the matchups and I watch him play all the time. He never watches me play, whatever. Friendlies are going back and forth, but I can tell he's getting pissed, obviously. Like, he's a top player. He should be beating my ass, obviously. Like, that should be happening. I accept that. We run into each other at Frostbite. He finds me. He goes, "You want to play?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, we can play." Whoops my ass for like 30 games in a row. Not even close. Of course he does. He's the Buzz. Like, this is, that's what's going to happen. And I keep thinking, it's like that top player thing. He sits down, he plays me for a few games, he beats me, and then he's like, GG's, and like leaves. He keeps going, dude. He wanted me to feel that shit. He was like, "Nope, we're gonna keep playing." I was like, "All right, well, I'm not gonna say no to playing with the top player. This is cool." And he came up with so much new shit that I hadn't seen before. So luckily tournaments are in progress, or else the expectation would be I come back now with some sort of adjustment, which haven't really done my homework there. If I'm gonna be honest with you, didn't study the Rosa matchup during quarantine. But yeah, man, it was really cool to see that, and I was like, this is why this guy he's such a tough competitor, because he doesn't like that shit. He's not like losing when he feels like he shouldn't have, or at all, I guess in general.
He probably has literal notes on like the matchup, like
he probably has notes on you.
Known for like carrying
his laptop
around and like having all his notes.
Marcus is not,
he's that guy. He's that guy.
I'm in the
And
laptop.
It's funny because I can relate to that, because even when I coached Void at like Apex 2015, like way back when, I literally had a notebook. I was like sitting next to him. I was like writing all these things down, and like that was like mid-set coaching was allowed too. So I'd just be like, I remember I'd optimize my time with Void, and I'd be like, okay, here's all the like ledge options he picked. Here's this. I had everything written down. I'm like, you need to visually look at this while I'm talking to you about the matchup and intake both like visual and like audio information, and then like that's how we're going to optimize that, and then you go. It's just so funny because it's like I'm also that person that's going to write a bunch of notes on the matchup, and like I do all that like nerdy stuff too, so it's definitely something I can relate to.
But I did not mind the mid-set coaching. I don't want to go too far down a rabbit hole here, but if there's a page of fucking notes on you and people can just say 2 words and they beat you,
mid-set coaching is broken.
yeah, but you should be able to adjust though. Like, I feel like it kind of holds us back. Like, you should be able to overcome those things that one person can point out. Like, if you jump from the ledge all the time and that isn't pointed out game 1, then you lose game 2 and 3 because you don't stop jumping from the ledge. Kind of feel like that's on you a little bit, you know?
Right. But like having
maybe some sort of like middle ground, like a Smash like way to coach. I don't know.
Right.
I think coaching is.
I agree with both of you. I agree with both of you guys to an extent.
Yeah.
So like I don't know.
It is kind of broken too, but I feel like that's how you get better as a player. If someone sees something that you do all the time and they call you out on it,
do you really deserve to win?
You're never going to stop doing it. Yeah. But at the same time, if you would have never noticed that I jump from ledge every single time, do you really deserve the win? Because someone else pointed out to you. It's an interesting concept. Right. It really is.
Yeah. All right. Any other Dabuz notes?
Let me bring up my notes on the book.
He's got the notes. Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Nah.
But yeah, I feel like if you asked me like a few years ago to talk about Dabuz, I wouldn't get this excited. You know what I mean? But like talking about it now, it's like I appreciate like so many more aspects of Smash.
Dabuz is more hype the more you understand the game, in my opinion, because defense is probably the last thing that you're going to be interested in. Just like how Haz had said earlier, like everyone loves the shit where like, yo, that combo though, or like, yo, that like really cool string of offense. Like it's just like visually cool, right? Like most people are like generally attracted to that at first. So like defense is probably going to be one of the later things that you like really understand on a deep level for Smash.
Yeah, it's just like any sports says it. You know, defense wins championships, offense sells seats. You know what I mean?
What'd you say?
What's that?
Floyd Mayweather, my boy, don't get hit.
He don't get it. Yeah, dude. Just don't get hit. You'll win. Just don't get hit.
He's the Isaiah of boxing.
Yo, number 8 though. Number 8.
Oh Lord.
Gluto.
Oh jeez.
This dude is a fucking legend. I just want to start off with that.
He's such a legend.
Raw legend, Smash 4 legend, because he literally got like a handful of wins with
legend.
Super horrible.
Weirdest. Talk about weird characters. This Cloud was weird as fuck, dude. In Smash 4, this Cloud was so weird. It was such a Wario Cloud. It was so weird. It's so weird. Not that it was bad or anything. It was just like, well, all right, fair enough. That kind of works. Gluto is Pog though. I totally agree.
Yeah, I can talk about Wario all day. So of course I'm gonna talk about. I've been a fan of Gluto since I was like 12 years old, bro.
Hell yeah.
Like, I was a huge fan of Brawl before any of you guys even knew who I was. So, like, I'm gonna talk about this all day. But Gluto is a Wario specialist.
Specialist.
Yeah.
Beyond.
Like
every game he's played Wario.
Wario
Smash 4
master.
When he was clunky and weird.
Yeah.
I hated him in Smash 4, man.
I made him for a year, dude. It was painful.
It's not good. Anyway.
His ultimate Wario is literally like fine aged wine, dude. It's like, you know what I mean? Like you can't get that like unless you like main the character through thick and thin. Like, just
He
to put
earned
it in
it.
perspective. Just put it in perspective. In Brawl, he was like bottom of top, top of high. He was around
good,
that
bro.
area. He had like some good matchups, but every character in the game could like grab release him into fucking like Falcon Knee or like DDD up smash, like super dumb slow moves, and you would like literally grab release him, and then like he would release, and then you'd grab him again. So you'd most characters would literally like kind of chain grab him across the stage, and then literally after that you would just like grab release into like anything, like any finisher. Like I don't think you could you Falcon? I'm pretty sure you couldn't Falcon Punch, but you could like knee him.
Could you imagine? He would be bottom tier if you could grab
you could like
him.
knee him. You could like DDD up smash. Like these very.
Yoshi
slow
had a
moves.
grab release infinite.
Hey, you got that on Meta Knight too.
Yeah, well, against Meta Knight, it was across the stage. Against Wario, it was standing
you
in
mean
place.
like a true infinite?
Yes.
Yeah. Jeez.
But yeah, so it's like he was like a high / bottom of top tier in Brawl, which is like in Brawl, the top tier characters were like super duper broken. So it's like the gap between like that high tierish level or bottom of top tier level was a pretty big gap. So like he played a pretty good character in Brawl, right? And then Smash 4, Wario was like bottom tier, like super garbo, like
low tier.
Okay, whatever, low tier. Like
Come
okay,
on,
he wasn't
bro. What the heck?
Okay. He was low tier. He could still do waft stuff. So like you had the little tournament buff of like I can still land up air waft. Like I can still rob you. It's 2 stocks, right? Which I actually think Wario is better in 3 stocks. That's another thing. The format in Smash 4 wasn't good for Wario because it was 2 stocks. You only got like realistically, you only got 1 waft. It is
and the biggest downgrade going from Brawl to Smash 4 was his portrait art was awful in Smash 4. He looked like Wallace and fucking Gromit, dude. What was going on there? He looked like a claymation model. He was ugly, dude. I hated that Wario so much. I love Wario. He's awesome. Anyway, sorry.
But yeah, and then Ultimate, this character just got like the sauce, dude. Sakurai literally had like the bottle. It was just called the sauce, and he just fucking threw it at Wario, gave it. Wario drank it, and he just. It's just funny too because a lot of things that Gavin wanted in Smash 4, talking to Gavin about Smash 4, like during Smash 4, we would always talk about. He's like, dude, if Wario just had like up throw up air, that would be really good. Like all the things that Gavin was like, he would theory craft to be like, dude, if Wario had this, he would be viable. It's like, and like for me, it's kind of just like, yeah, man, it's like kind of like I'm talking to a crazy guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, for sure, dude. Like, yeah, that'll totally make him viable. Like, cause you know what I mean? Cause like in the whole game, it was just like he was just horrible, right? And then it's just so funny because like all this stuff happened, and like I was like, holy shit, Gavin was right.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like someone like one of like the Ultimate devs were like studying my brain or something because so many things I thought could be in Smash Ultimate were like all of them were like in the game in some way. It was really weird.
Yeah, which is refreshing because I honestly feel like the changes they made from Brawl to Smash 4 were just reverse. If the moves were really good, nerf them, and if the moves are really bad, make them better. And I saw it through Meta Knight. Like his down air went from the best move in the game to like terrible. Forward air went from really good to like pretty bad, and then his back air went from unusable to like his best aerial. Basically.
Yeah,
it's like it was weird. They just kind of like they're like, let's just reverse if they're good or not. Like let's go with that. Yeah, that's
do something new.
It was just weird. It was just such a strange way to change it. But in Ultimate, I feel like the changes were pretty godlike overall.
Like more balanced, yeah.
Mm-hmm. They were more thoughtful, I guess is a good way to put it. Even if they didn't work out, like at least they tried.
For Gluto, like he obviously Wario has a crazy advantage state. Gluto's advantage state is like touch of death. Like he will take your stock if he hits you, and I'm willing to gamble on that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean, he was trying to get wafts in Smash 4. Then like he got all these tools, and it's just like, holy crap! Like look at this toolbox.
Dude,
like
when I saw him, that clip where he like jabbed somebody mid stage on Yoshi's and they landed on the platform and he killed him off of it, I was like,
he did like a forward air reset.
This dude is insane. Like that doesn't even make sense. Oh yeah, I just jabbed him. I know how to kill him. What?
I'm going in for the kill, but you just jabbed him center stage.
That dude, he
airtight. Yeah,
it feels like he understands like every single Wario situation that occurs.
Yeah,
and he just has the right answer for it every time. It's so insane.
Yeah.
like what Charles was saying is you earn that when you play the character for every single game. Like you really do kind of earn that. It's like one of the advantages, but you're gambling that character is going to be good. And in his case, it didn't work out in the last game, but it certainly paid off in this game. And I think I wanted to say that when we were talking about Spargo too. He's been playing Cloud since the game came out. So when he got buffed and when he got stronger, when Cloud got a little bit better, man, was that kid was ready to take off with him. It's just it's crazy. And I mean the whole buff and nerf kind of culture that we live in with Smash and with every other fighting game. It's always a gamble to be a character specialist because Wario got hit recently. You know, we'll kind of see what happens. I'm sure Gluto is never going to drop him ever, which is great. But
yeah, that's the thing. Like people are like, oh my gosh, like Wario's dead. It's like he played Wario in 4, and Wario's definitely still way better than 4. It's okay.
Oh yeah. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
He'll be perfect. You guys won't even notice a difference in the patch.
It's true.
Yeah, and Gluto's offense is just so good anyway, so I think it'll just cover up for it. Like it's fine.
Yeah. And I think my favorite thing, one of my favorite quotes like any Smash player's ever said is I think the first Smash Summit, Gluto was there, and he was like on the mic right after a set or something. I think he just won a set or something, and he said Wario is art. And I was like, I've played Wario for like a long time, like many years, and I'm just like, that's how I feel. I'm just like sitting at my computer like, yes.
He's great.
And like watching him is like art, dude. It's beautiful.
Aside from, I mean, I think the only thing you could really argue that's like quote unquote lame with him is Waff, but I think the character's kit is incredible. I love it. I've always tried to play him.
He's
I
so
almost
fun.
made him an ultimate too. He's great.
He's so
did an awesome
fun.
job with the character. He's very fun. I agree.
And now that he has dash attack, he has like confirms outside of Waft. It's like
down tilt dash attack.
He's very threatening now.
Yeah, that was the other thing about Smash 4 Wario. They got rid of the shoulder, which was just obviously a mistake. Like that was just not. I understand. Don't make it forward smash or whatever, but that was just weird. That's such a signature thing of him. But he's back.
Yeah, they definitely rounded out Wario in Ultimate like very well, in my opinion. Like they kind of just like gave him things he never really had. You know, like having a down tilt dash attack confirm at like 120-ish or so or 110. Like that's a very like top tier thing to have. And it's just I don't know. I still think the character is like potential like bottom of top tier, or like at like worst case like Wario's gonna be a high tier. So it's like I'm not too worried about Gluto, and like Gluto was already like even before Wario got nerfed, Gluto was already picking up secondaries for Wario's like top tier matchups. So it's like I don't know. I to me, Gluto's still gonna do the same thing he's been doing. Obviously it's gonna be a little tougher. Like nerfs will never make it easier, right? Like it's gonna be a little tougher. But like Gavin said, this guy stuck it out like through Brawl and Smash 4. Like this is literally nothing compared to that. And I just think in terms of like his offense in general and his offense particularly with Wario, it's so unmatched that like that's like to me that's like the unique part about Gluto. And that's the thing that I feel like is very different. Like even when Gavin did play Wario a lot, like Gluto was a lot more aggressive. Like obviously he still camped for Waft, which he had to do, but Gluto was very good at finding his openings and making them count. And I think that's what like really like makes his Wario what it is, because it's just like I know how to like get that exact right air drift to get in, and when I do get in with this nair at 0, I'm killing you, right? Like I'm already got it mapped out. I already know exactly how I'm going to do it, and he just does it so well. So I think Gluto is still going to be as successful and as he was before, if not even more. We'll see. Like this new arc of Smash is so exciting, because I was even like me and Gavin were talking about the other night. It feels like we had like this filler arc just to like hype up this arc, right? Like like that's what it feels like, because I mean we're coming into a whole nother game. Like there's so many new characters, like the game, like even like just the base characters, a lot of them got changed up too, right? So it's like, dude, when offline comes back, it's going to be so exciting to see like this new game unfold. And like, other people have been putting different amounts of time into the game too. So I really want to see like all the players that have been super grinding really like come out and glow up. And yeah, I'm just super excited.
Speaking of offline, we got number 7. Who's been playing some offline? Zackray.
Oh,
bro,
dude.
he wants it.
He's
Zackray,
a monster. He's a monster.
Zackray wants to be the best so bad, and I can just tell because I've seen different people like express that emotion. Dude, Zackray will do whatever it takes. Like this guy picked up Rob. This guy played every top tier under the sun. Yeah, and he is like literally like the only top player that like he went that low, dude. He was just like, you know what?
He'll whatever it takes.
I'm playing this guy.
It's like the Avengers, dude.
And we're doing it all. Like
we're bringing it all together, and like it's crazy. Like he does it all at a top level. I still think he's the best Rob by far. He doesn't solo main Rob, but like, dude, this guy's Rob. Like,
yeah.
When he plays Rob, I literally watch it and I'm like, Rob's not this fast. This isn't real. Rob is. Yeah. There's no way he's this fast, and like Zackray makes him look faster than he actually is, and it's just it's crazy to me too, because you guys know about Zackray's past. He was like a Smash 4 Corrin.
Yep. Yeah, and Bayo too, right? Like at the end, or no?
Like towards the end, right, yeah. Right. But I don't. Did he ever like get PR'd in Japan? I'm not even sure at the very end. I don't think so, right?
Well, he still is young, but yeah. But
like,
absolutely.
It's cool that like he like competed in Smash 4, but like something just clicked for him. I'm not too sure. Like I don't know exactly like who, like what kind of things influences play and like who he plays with and all that stuff. I don't know that much about it, but like something clicked for him in Ultimate, because like right out the gate, dude, like he really, all the doubters that thought Wolf wasn't good, I wasn't one of them. Just putting it out there. I literally have video evidence. All right, I have video evidence. I went around interviewing people. I was like, "Who do you think is top 5?" Like at Genesis 6, and like so many people didn't say Wolf, dude. People said Fox. Like people are crazy.
They're right.
Right? Mm-hmm. People are crazy, but I had Wolf in my top 5. And Zackray came out swinging at Genesis, showing off the Wolf. I believe even Gavin played Wolf at or Genesis 6. My bad. So it's like it was really cool, and like obviously he like later on drops Wolf, but his like in terms of diversity of character, he probably has the most character diversity at major tournaments with like a character roster, right? If I'm not mistaken, in terms of like top level players. So that in itself is very impressive. Not only because every top player can pick up other different top tier characters, but to have the confidence to whip them out in tournament when your tournament, like, you know, a game is on the line, it's that's like very impressive in my opinion.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead, Marcus.
That dude played Joker, Rob,
PT,
Wolf,
Game & Watch, PT, Wario, Mario, Sephiroth. I'm like, what's going on, bro?
Yeah. You played Min too?
You just nah.
Did he?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But
we're not going that low.
I feel like he already did Rob. He already committed
play Rob in Game & Watch. Said, he did play Sonic. He did play Sonic.
Whoa.
That's the unholy trinity right there. Rob, Sonic, Game & Watch.
Like that at an event, he was struggling with Game & Watch. I think he went Sonic against Meister.
I think he did Corrin too.
Yep, went Corrin.
Oh yeah, I forgot he did the Corrin thing.
Just
there's no way he's not playing Pyra and Mithra. Of course he's gonna be playing them.
True.
Hell yeah, he's gonna play them.
Hey, Lucina, dude, just pick characters and be like, all right, time to win. I'm like, yeah. What? It's very similar to somebody in this Discord. It's kind of weird, but
thanks, dude. I only played 2 characters, so appreciate that. It's just, well, Simon's an Echo, but you know, thanks.
Yeah, I could be top 10 if I tried, but you know, I like talking about the game. Let's go.
I only play 2 characters too. I don't know what he's talking about.
I'm not talking about myself, so this is weird.
Gavin has definitely gone through a bunch of characters, and I feel like Zackray like kind of does the same thing as Gavin too, right? Like he's cycling. He's not like maining all 10 or 15 of these characters at once. It's kind of like it's like a seasonal thing. Like, okay, I'll give them a whirl. Like, am I about it? Am I not? Right? Because even like the PT Lucina phase for Zackray, like we maybe saw it at like 2 majors, and then it kind of like blew past the win. He maybe didn't have enough faith in it or whatever. But
Zackray Ridley though.
The Zackray Ridley, that was a thing.
I think I think it's so smart to do that because you can have some counter picks if you're feeling confident in all those characters and you play against someone who either struggles with a certain play style, because you can counter pick people's play styles too. You don't just have to counter pick matchups. Like that's a huge thing. People don't really give enough credit to either, I think. So you have them in your pocket just in case you need them, but also you learn how to play the game from a lot of different angles. It's like if you talk to someone else and you've never played their main before, it's like a different world. It's like, how do you feel about this guy? Oh, Peach is so broken. It's like, what do you mean Peach is broken? Like, she's not that bad. Come on, man. What are you talking about? No, you don't understand. You don't understand. It's like a whole different world, a whole different level of experiences. So instead of like just hearing them from someone else, if you live through them, it'll influence the way that you play all the other characters. You can see it when top players kind of pick up or like have some like fun side events and they play random characters. You could see the influence in their mains and the way that they look at the game and the options they try to sniff out and the way that they try to attack other players. It's really, really cool actually to kind of see them influence that. And if you play a lot of different characters, you're gonna have a really, really well-rounded play style, which Zackray obviously does. He's scary, man. He's scary.
He can do it. He can do everything.
Highest rank from Japan, right?
Yep.
Like for globally. I just want to say Japan is like it's a very hard thing to be the best in Japan, in my opinion. I think Japanese players, in terms of like top level skill gap, like they overall, if like you took a lot of their top players and when you start dipping into their high level players, there's not that big of a gap. Like overall, like skill wise, if you combine like their low, mid, high, and top, I actually think just overall they're the best region because of how little the skill gaps are in between each level of play. But like obviously, like most of the time when you look at a region, you look at the top level, right, and you compare it to the other top level. So that's so I just want to make that very clear. But it's like when you're playing, and another thing too, to give more credit to Zackray, he's just extremely young. Two, like I think it's pretty difficult for Japanese players to compete in other regions. One, the time difference is like so crazy. Like they get off the plane Thursday, right? And I'm like not trying to John for them, but like it's like this is just factual, right? Like they're very far, right? So their plane trips are like 12 hours or something crazy or whatever, right? Like the plane ride is just long. The time difference is very different. And then on top of that, the environment they're used to competing in is like people aren't like screaming and yelling and going crazy. It's like everyone's quiet. Like the culture in Japan is very different, right? Everyone's quiet. They watch the gameplay, the game's over, like golf clap kind of style, right? Not like people standing behind you screaming and yelling, like going like total degen mode. Like yes, it's a very, very different environment they're competing in. So it's like I have so much respect for the Japanese players that they come out and they compete like that because they just, for the love of the game too, right? Like even in Japan the culture is so different because they don't like get prize money. Like they're literally playing for just like pride and the love of Smash. So it's like that is something I always just respect, like so much respect for them. And that's why it's cool to see so many character specialists, because a lot of like top players in Japan, there's like no money in it, right? So it's like for them, their incentive is just like, well, I just really like this character and I just want to play it at the highest level possible, right? So it's like that's why you like even stuff like cultural differences like that is even why it like affects like their quite literally their meta, right? Where in America or just like Western, it's like you're getting money for it, like people are like making careers out of it, right? Like I want to pick the strongest character available to me.
Oh yeah, and I think that's you kind of touched upon it too, Charles, but like the region of Japan, there's so many character specialists and so many. Going to a weekly there sounds insanely difficult. Like just the level of like how high level their high and mid level players is. It's nuts. Like any of those weeklies he goes to and does really well at. Some top players like drown in pools. You know what I mean? Like you can just. I think they also do one game pools sometimes too, which is also volatile. But I think that can help you as a competitor because you got to know. If I lose this one game, I'm done. That's going to teach you how to play defensively or lose. Like that's it. Those are your options. So yeah, it's certainly like you said, and it's kind of like the point of the Smash World Tour is just to see these different regions collide and kind of see this like language of Smash being spoken and how it's used all across the globe, which is really cool. Turn me. Cool. Yeah, so, Zackray's a monster. I think we all agree.
We might not be able to do the whole top 10, but maybe we can end it off with maybe, do you guys have any questions for us or Hazmatt? Or Hazmatt, do you have anything you want to say about the World Tour commentating you've been doing? Or
Just more or less the same. I think it just feels really good to have something that everyone's really excited to play for again. Because for a while, there's been a lot of good online tournaments. Don't get me wrong. I think the online culture has been great, but it's cool to see a real big circuit take place. And not only that, but it's connecting regions to the main Smash line that might not have gotten as much exposure as they deserve. Like Mexico, for example, a perfect example of that. Very, very strong region, deserves a lot more exposure. Happy to give the players the spotlight for as long as they can and see what kind of damage they can cause in the main bracket. I cannot wait for it to get to all these other regions that deserve more of the spotlight as well. And the US brackets are obviously going to be insane in Japan and Europe. Like all the ones that are well known to are going to be very interesting to watch as well. Yeah. So I love it, man. And I think, Charles, you said the same thing. The passion for commentary and for Smash, it just felt like it got a jump start. Not that it ever went anywhere, but it's just a little different than what we're used to. So having it have that more authentic major Smash feel is just it feels like home. It feels so nice, man.
For me, like it feels like when I play the game every day now, it feels like I'm working towards like a bigger goal for once. Like actually,
which is more motivation, man.
Yeah, like looking forward to like an actual specific event or something. Like it's been a while since like that was like in my mind in any way, so I definitely understand where you're coming from.
I mean, we all know, we've been around on the scene for a long time. We know. And I was just saying this to a buddy who was asking me how Smash was going, and I was like, well, not being there in person really made me realize like the things that I actually value about the community, and it's being there and it's being with the people and feeling the crowd and like just it's such an in-person experience, and I think that's so valuable for the people inside of it. So, and that really made me feel that over quarantine. So man, but Smash World Tour feels amazing, obviously.
Yeah, and by no means are we knocking on all the Wi-Fi tournaments that have been going on during quarantine. Obviously, like that's an important part to like keep Smash going along and stuff. But like the way I like to explain it, it's kind of like all the Wi-Fi tournaments, especially like the weekly ones, like they feel like locals, right? Like they have that local feel, and there's nothing wrong with locals. Like there's nothing wrong at all. Like locals are a very important part of the ecosystem of Smash, right? It's very important. But it's like, for a local, it feels like, okay, boom, 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 bracket happens, escalates up to grand finals, which is like the finale of it, and then it's over. Then there's just another one, right? Whereas this tournament, there's it's like scaling up, right? Where it's just like, okay, like have this tournament. Who's qualifying, right? Okay, boom, these guys qualify like from this region. Oh, cool. Like it's like all building up, and there's like a greater goal, right? Because like even like most people can argue like, oh, well, that's kind of like how Genesis or SmashCon or EVO is. It's just like a tournament and then there's an ending and that's it. But like for that all stuff ties into the PGR ranking, right? So it's like, okay, we have this season, right? Boom, go to EVO. Ah, dang, didn't like get first there or didn't like place as well as I wanted there. But like there's the next tournament that counts towards the PGR, right? Like you're going to all these different tournaments, and it's like kind of building up to this like greater result or like greater like purpose, right? And this, like, so that's why majors feel so impactful. They feel so hype, because it's like, oh man, this is huge for like the PGR, or like, dang, like that guy got upset by that guy, or oh my goodness, like, man, he got a win on him finally. Like that's going to be so big for like the rankings or what. Like there's so much stuff going on, so it just feels really exciting.
Yeah, and not just for players, but I know as a commentator too, Charles, that having those storylines and having something real to really compete for, because stuff that's on the line is really cool for Smash World Tour. So it's going to be a great event. It feels great, and working with VGBC too, obviously, is like a big thing. Like it just has that whole,
best of the best.
It has that whole kind of feel to it. Someone asked in the chat what the schedule is. Let me pull it up here. So starting at 9 p.m. tonight, I know a lot of you are night owls, myself included. Top 32 starts at 9 p.m. tonight.
Eastern?
For the Oceania qualifier. So that'll be all the good Australian players, all that good stuff. So it'll be good. 9 p.m. Eastern, and it ends at 8 a.m. Eastern is the proposed time. I will be up for the 5 a.m. pool to commentate. So there you go. I'm pretty excited. I know. I think I'm gonna go to bed after this. That's why we have to stop at 7. I think just go to sleep.
Catch grands. Actually, I'll be up. I should be up.
That's what I'm saying. Is like it might. I can't tell. I hope the viewership's good for it, because A, the players deserve it, and B, it's going to be a really entertaining event. Yeah. But it's so hard to tell, because like it's 5 a.m. What's too late for the Smash crowd right now? It feels like not. When I wake up and I check Twitter in the morning, I'm like, dude, everyone's fucking awake still. What happened? Like, you guys don't go to sleep? Old vampires or something? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Can we do a fun question that I saw? I just think it would be fun to see who you guys would pick, even though you probably have no idea. Someone asked who you think has the most potential to make top 10. I just think it's interesting, and I know who I would say, but I don't know if y'all know who y'all would say.
Give me
or
one.
if y'all even.
I want to hear your
player.
answer first if you already have one.
Me?
Yeah, let me look at the PGR real quick and think about it a little bit more. Yeah.
Okay,
So who we think or who we want or both? Like what?
Who do I think? No, who I think.
Okay.
Who's going to be top 10 in the next in Wi-Fi or offline?
Not everyone, just one player you think can break in the top 10.
Okay.
You talking offline? You talking online?
Offline.
Okay.
Offline. A lot of people
Okay.
are saying fatality. A lot of
You're
Spargo.
asking the chat.
No, I'm asking you.
Okay.
Paul. But I'm just seeing a lot of people say
My
fatality.
answer is Kameme. He was number 11 on the last one. So it's the easiest path of least resistance there.
I'm seeing
actually now this is kind of difficult.
Oh, I have an answer. You should have an answer here too, easily, Marcus. There's one player for sure that's been killing it lately.
Before I was gonna say Dark Wizzy.
That's a good one.
I agree. You know what I'm gonna say? Can I say mine?
Yeah, go for it.
Waddy. Give me Waddy. Show me
No.
Waddy. He's playing so well. Hell yeah, you know he can. You know he can. You know he
I'm
can.
never gonna let him in. No, I'm joking.
You know he's got it in him, dude. He's got. He's playing Rob too. I mean, he's talking about best Rob.
I think he could do it if he cared, but he doesn't care enough.
I think he does because he streams. It's like his thing now. I think he's finding the motivation, man.
Maybe.
Well, you know him better than me. You know him
Motivation power up. Okay.
I know he plays for fun, and being the best has never been a goal of his. And I think to break in the top 10, you have to have the goal of being the best. You can't just want to play. I think he could be like a top 20 player for sure. Like he's proven that he's done it. He could do it. He's done it before. But I feel like to break in the top 10, you have to want to be the best. That's generally how it goes.
So it's one of the check marks.
Yeah.
Is Void seriously picking up Mithra and Pyra?
Yes.
That's my
All right, Void.
Oh,
Damn, that's what I was gonna say. What the heck?
1,000%. Before I was gonna say Wizzy, Wizzy had been doing really, 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 really well before.
He was. Yeah, you're right.
Like extremely well. Like winning tournaments, got second at Glitch. Would have had a really good Frostbite run, except he lost to Meister and Leo, who got first and second. I'm pretty sure he lost to Meister and Leo. He was looking like oh snap, this might be top 10 material. But we've had some time off. Void has been in the lab. Sheik is looking broken. Mithra and Pyra are starting to look broken. And he's done it in another game, so he has the capability to do it.
He was starting to hit a stride offline too. He had a really good Frostbite right before we went into quarantine.
That was like when his Sheik was terrible. Like
it was picking. That's where I think it was picking up.
Well, that's when he started to like be more willing to use it in tournament, right? Like because it was like and then like right before offline stopped, like that's when he was starting to like, you know what, I'm bringing the Sheik out, right? And like it's like his Sheik is so much better now, but like we only caught like the very like beginning of his like tournament Sheik journey, kind of like that's what we saw like offline, and like he beat Zackray with that Sheik. Like and then like Mithra too, like Void. I respect when someone finds tech. Okay, I will never unveil someone's tech. I'm like the super homie when it comes to that. I will say this, there was even in Smash 4, there was specific like Void combos that he would do, and like if I fought him in bracket, I like knew the exact DI to like screw everything up, but I would get hit by it on purpose. Like I'm that kind of homie. Like
that's a homie.
Yes, like for the greater good for your career, since like I'm not like trying to be PGR or anything. Like I you know, at that point I'm like more focused on like commentary content stuff. Like, you know what, I'm playing you on stream, I'm playing you at like a tournament or something, like I will DI it the incorrect way just so no one else knows, dude. I got you. Yeah. Right?
That's real, homie. Go ahead.
That's some shit.
Actually, can I change my answer again? It's someone who's not on the PGR right now, so it's a pretty good choice.
Ooh, okay.
Spargo.
Yeah, I figured.
I feel like Give me Spargo.
That's a good one.
Spargo, Void, Wizzy, and even T are like probably the biggest
T.
contenders. Depending on how traveling goes, maybe even Sonics, dude. I'm not gonna hold you. That
Ooh,
dude-
Sonic.
Ken.
Ooh,
Ken.
Sonic's a good
He's
choice.
improved a lot, and
That-
Sonic has always been that broken. Just remember, Sonic has always been that broken.
dude
Yo,
is
Ken though.
nasty. Oh, Ken too. But I
Oh
don't know,
my
again,
god.
I think those depend on like traveling.
Yeah.
Them dudes nice. They're nasty.
The Sonics are starting to figure it out.
Okay.
This
It's
is
the real
dangerous.
deal, yeah.
You know
This
who
is
I
dangerous.
want to say? It might
Go
not be like based on like any sort of PGR or anything, but I want to do this for Jersey. So two
Oh.
people I have. Well,
Oh, I know who one of them.
The
So-
one, yeah.
so I have
Okay,
two.
okay.
So I have two
Gavin,
people.
some students? Gavin got some students?
So I have
Okay.
Wait,
I
your
have
coach is
I have
coach,
two people. One is Rivers. He's actually in Florida.
of course.
He's in Florida
Oh,
now.
he's-
But I have so much faith in Rivers and Jackal.
Motherfucking Jackal.
Jackal, let's
Yes.
go. Is he picking up Sonic again?
No, he plays Wolf.
Well,
he plays Wolf.
I love his wolf. He
Yeah.
beat my ass in
He kind
Fish a
of.
lot.
I don't know if he's decided. Like he kind of goes back and forth with Sephiroth and Pyra Mithra.
Okay.
We'll see. But I know the Wolf will be around. I want to fucking see it. Like just for fucking Jersey and like just because I love those two. And they are also so much better than everyone thinks. They are so good. Both of them, literally both of them, for different reasons. All this stuff, dude. Like Rivers is so fucking
Rivers-
good.
Is one of those players that has like life things. Like we always talk about it, like they're just things that happen in life, and like you can't control like
Yeah.
how good of a player you're gonna be and stuff like that. Sometimes I think it's the wrist, Is it
Hands,
wrist
yeah.
or his hands or
Yeah,
something like that. He has like really bad pain in his hands, and he just has to DQ out of tournaments and like blah blah. So
Yeah.
it's hard to like even for him, if he continues to have the drive to want to be like one of the best players or whatever, like even just continuing to have that drive despite knowing like your health complications is like a huge feat. So
Yeah.
I always hope that like when he goes to events, he gets to play all the way through and all that, and like things aren't being like outside factors aren't bothering him too much, because we've seen how good he can be at certain events. You're just like, what the
Yeah.
you just smoked this player like easy.
Yo,
like what?
New Jersey, dude.
Jackal got top 8 at Shine right before Smash 4 ended too.
Yes.
So for those of you who aren't familiar with him, because he's kind of a quieter player, like he doesn't like tweet a whole lot or anything, but he is.
He beat
an
Leo in
exceptional-
Smash 4.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Talk about this shit, man. He's really good. I'm glad you said Jackal. That's a great call, Tweek.
Dude, like those two, like
That's
I
fair.
feel like I want it more than they do. Like I want to see it. Like
I'm changing my answer again. It's Lade Fitness actually.
Late
Lade Fitness and Mechos. Those are my top two. Back to back. 8 and 9 right there. God, I love those dudes.
Back to
Those are-
back.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. But yeah. So wait, who are our final picks then? Because I think we all
Okay.
kind of.
I don't have-
If
can't
I
pick
had
one.
to pick one
You
player,
can say 2. I think 2 is fine.
okay, if I had to pick 2 players, it would either be Esam's a player.
I know.
Oh, I
That
don't
one
know. I don't know about Esam's Pikachu offline. That joint might be cheap. I don't know if he's
I might not
killing,
be ready for it, dude. Honestly, he
he
was on
might
my
be
list as well.
killing people off one hit. All right, no. If I had to choose 2 players that I think could break into the top 10, it would be Void or Dark Wizzy.
Oh, it's a great one. I will also say Spargo for sure. He's definitely one of mine for top 10. And
My only concern with Spargo is the amount that he'll be able to travel.
I was thinking that too, but he was already going to stuff. Like he went to CEO and stuff before
Yeah,
quarantine. I think he'll be okay. And since he's doing so well and his stream's doing well, I think his parents will like support him and stuff.
Yeah.
That's just a guess. I don't know what his personal life is.
Yeah.
That's just an educated guess. Spargo for sure. And it's so painful to pick only one because Esam's up there. Obviously, he's always a threat. Salem honestly has a chance. Steve is so fucking broken, and people like Betsness who have been playing insanely well. Riddle, I love Riddles too. Like there's Goblin. I have so much faith in all these players.
Yeah.
But I think Void. I think he's hitting a stride. I think he was before we went into quarantine. I also agree that Void would be a solid pick for top And he might be able to hear me right now, so I don't want to not say him. Make Termy sad. I can't do that.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna change my answer to void and void.
And then my answer would be void and void. And then I think we can, yeah, like. No, okay. For real though, I definitely think void. That's like one of my picks. I also think I think Void is finally getting to the point where he's like getting really comfortable with like switching in between characters. This was like so obviously if you guys don't know, like in terms of being Void's history, I coached him throughout Smash 4 and the very like beginning, like I guess first half of Ultimate, like the first year of Ultimate. So and I grew up with him too, like through Brawl. So it's like for him, he was like solo Sheik pretty much in Smash 4. He like counterpicked Fox a couple times, but like and it was perfect too because he just absolutely loved that character. But in Ultimate, he kind of like was in this weird spot where like the character he absolutely loved wasn't like that good, or at least like we thought at the time, right? Obviously she got buffs, blah blah blah. He just went with like the heavy combo character being Pichu. Still, did really well, but started struggling once people started figuring out the matchup, right? Like I feel like at the beginning of Ultimate, especially Genesis 6, everyone just ran at each other. Like everyone was just like, your character, my character, we're running in, we're interacting, and we're just gonna see who wins. And when you play that battle with Void, he's gonna win a lot. Like he's just very good at that.
Yeah, and dude, in Pichu, I'm glad he finally figured out how to get off Pichu. That character is just so inconsistent. He's good. It's just
I think it's a great counter-pick character.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't think he should drop him 100%, but it's just scary, man. It's like, and you know this obviously because you care about him on a personal coaching level, all that good stuff. But when someone plays a character that's kind of inconsistent, especially in a couple matchups, it's just every match is like you can feel it. You feel it in your chest, man. It's not good. It's not good.
But yeah, I'm gonna change my answer.
Changing. Wait, you left the desk. You got some outside help. This is not fair.
I'm gonna change my answer to Tweek Sephiroth and Tweek Diddy Kong.
You're already top 10.
Top 10, yeah.
Oh,
or else I'd have to say Light
not those
Mars,
two characters. Not those two.
Not with those two characters though.
All right. Well, I also changed my answer. that's a surefire fucking thing right there. I don't count. No way. Sorry, Rivers and Jackal, by the way. Get fucked.
R.I.P. dude. But it's crazy because Light was one of the people that was trying to convince Void to just play Sheik anyway. He's like, dude, I know you don't think Sheik's that good, but that's like your character. And it's just funny too because Light is in like Light's in a similar position where he doesn't think Fox is like top 10. He doesn't think he's like a top 10 character, but like Light just forces it and plays the character anyway because like he's just so good with Fox, right? Yeah. So I think Light actually helped Void like the most. Like trying to get him to like push the tournament Sheik more, and then obviously with the Sheik buffs, and I feel like just because, and then on top of that with Mithra, like oh my goodness, like I said, just let's just say he was on the mod pack last night on my Switch, and literally like he just had like setups that killed as early as Pyra. Like he literally like found setups that killed at 50, and I was just like looking, and I was just like,
yeah,
like dude, this is literally insane because like Mithra is supposed to like not kill, and I'm literally just like witnessing like meta defining stuff, and I'm just like
stage, by the way.
Dude, it was like I don't know, like I said, I'm not gonna reveal anyone's tech. That's up to Void. He can save it for tournament. He can save it for content. Do as he pleases, obviously. But like I think Mithra also like kind of like sparked his motivation. I think that's like a kind of a factor that we went into with like a bunch of other players going in top 10. Because we know we've been in the community so long. We know there's a huge list of players that have the potential to be top 10, but is the motivation there? And like Marcus said earlier, like to get into top 10, you gotta like want to be the best in the world. That has to like actually be one of your goals that pushes you forward, right?
And it's time to like what people are doing quarantine and what they focus on and all that stuff are also factors. Because someone in chat pointed out like Void is saying he's going to play Guilty Gear Strive a lot, but what does that really mean? And who knows? Like a lot's going to depend on what the Smash landscape is like and stuff for him too. So, but I think what we're saying is that if it was same thing with Jane or with Rivers is if there aren't these outside factors, do we think they could achieve the goal of hitting top 10? Right. It's kind of where we're at. But yeah, absolutely, I feel you on that. So cool.
Yeah, I'm just so biased with my answers. I just really want it.
Hell yeah, dude.
Termy top 10.
Termy. Cool.
And plus,
top 10 free.
Rivers plays Diddy. Jackal plays Wolf. Like I need to see the boys.
Yeah. The characters they play are hype. Like, dude, like even like Rivers Crom, obviously
Super
everyone
hype.
knows him for that.
love
Like,
his
just
Crom,
does
it's
like
so
the
good.
craziest shit with that. I remember. I think I was commentating with you, Has, when he did the upbeat onto the platform coming in on Town and City,
Yes.
because he knew the platform was about to come in. He just rips the upbeat like way off stage, and I'm like, what the?
Against Void.
And yeah. That was a banger set, and then like he like lands on the platform. We're like, what? It's so
that was
crazy.
He too, like, I hate Tweek and I hate James because they play Diddy and I like it. Like, Diddy's like my least favorite character to fucking fight. And like, I hate Diddy. And then you post a clip and I'm like, don't watch it. You're gonna like it. Either of you. Like, I post a clip. I'm like, God damn it, I'm gonna enjoy this content.
Yeah.
Because you guys just put such a cool spin on the character that I normally think is very boring.
No,
but
fighting Diddy is so stupid.
it's a chore, but it's okay. There's a lot of characters like that. I mean, I play Richter, so I can't really.
Yeah,
Okay,
similar
I
type
deserve
of
it.
chore. It's like you just
Mhm.
like, how the fuck do I hit them?
That's what Nick C said. We played before we sign off, but he said we played it. Let's make moves. Actually, not even let's make big moves. Speaking of tournaments, you should go to when offline comes back. Let's make big moves in Gommel, 100%. Two of my favorites. I can't believe I forgot to mention them. But Nick C said we played it. He beat my Richter with his Falcon. He goes, dude, what the playing Galaga that whole set is what he said. That's how he described it. Just playing Galaga, like just trying to move around and find the right spots to get in. I thought that was such a funny way to look at fighting those characters.
Dude, I was
Like,
playing DK at
True,
that
though.
tournament for most of the singles.
Oh my god, dude! Everybody's picking up fucking Diddy Kong, man.
I
Like,
know, what the fuck, man. I'm done.
Oh.
I actually love fighting Diddy, but I
what
play
the
Fox.
fuck?
Well, you
I-
Fox, yeah, I think Fox as well against them.
Dude,
Naturally.
I love Diddy.
What have you done, man? What is
I like
really
him as a
going on,
character.
Diddy?
I played Tweek.
So I actually have an answer for a second person. So I said Void, right? So my second answer is T, like Pac-Man T. I actually
Yeah.
think Pac-Man T has huge potential to get top 10, and one of the big reasons is like he's like one of the few Japanese players like that get powered up from the crowd. Like he loves that shit. It's like it's so interesting because I've housed him a couple
Yeah.
times, and we don't really speak the same language, but it's like weird. I can still like kind of communicate with him.
Yeah.
But it is like, dude, you can just tell he loves it so much when like people get super hyped for all the like whack Pac-Man shit he's doing. To be fair, he's very creative with the character. Pac-Man T is like another example of like aged wine. Like he like just solo main Pac-Man in Smash 4. That character was so bad in Smash 4, and then he just like, dude, Ultimate came out, Pac-Man got the sauce, dude. It was over.
Yeah, we gotta stop talking about Diddy, or else we're just gonna create more of
Yeah.
them. I blame every Diddy Kong main that was born after this podcast. I blame PinkFresh for. So
What?
Dude,
yeah, you keep talking about it, dude. You can keep talking.
I've been playing Diddy for like
Yeah.
6+ months straight, and like that's, for my standards, that's so long. Like I usually like throw a character in the trash.
It's usually on to the next by then.
Yeah, like that's like very long. So like I have a lot of faith, but dude, you know what? Yesterday I played a little bit of offline.
Nice.
Oh yes.
I
yes.
didn't play Diddy.
tell.
I only played Sephiroth, and I was like,
That's some shit.
what's happening?
That's some shit.
Something
Sephiroth
has-
is your playstyle too, man.
Something
We
has
gotta
Shit.
talk about the clip, dude. We gotta talk about that clip.
something
dude.
has
Oh, yeah,
shifted.
What happened?
Literally like
something shifted. That tweet, something
clicked,
shifted.
it clicked,
Tweek
it
only
clicked.
played Sephiroth offline. No Diddy.
All right, I'm gonna be real with y'all, and I don't mean to crush anybody's dreams, but I will not be top 10. I'm just gonna put it out there. I do not care enough to be top 10. Like, I don't.
you got to have that motivation. That motivation is probably the one of the harder things to do to like
Yeah.
you know, to push for top 10. Obviously like the grind and stuff is hard, but like you only willingly do that grind if you have the motivation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
I-
like,
It's a huge part of it, which is why, like, I wanted to give shout out to more online players right now too. Like Aaron, obviously, I think is brilliant as a player. I think Salem's been doing really
Amazing.
well too. Yeah, it's just, well, yeah, another Diddy. Fuck me, right? Like, it's just, I can't help but compliment Diddy players. You know, I hate the character, but you
How
guys are
weird.
really-
It's like I've played before with that goal in mind.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I understand the sacrifices that I need to make to do it. And at this point in my life, I'm not willing to do that. Like I lost like a lot of relationships with people. Like I didn't have like the game consumed my life, so like it was my job, and it was like all I really did. Like I lost a lot of friends. It was hard to like. Sometimes my relationship would be a little rocky because I would prioritize that over like my girlfriend, who's now my wife. And it's, I don't know. To me, at this point in my life, it's just not worth it. So I don't think I will ever.
You got other priorities. Yeah.
Honestly, I respect it a lot.
Yeah, I can't see me even remotely gunning for top 10. I might end up on the PGR somehow. Who knows?
Yeah.
But do you play Min? Is anything possible?
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah.
I may steal a few wins
Smart man.
Players.
You pick Bayo up right away in Smash 4 and Min right now. I think you're onto something.
It's a time frame thing, right? Like you just like everyone has different situations. Like I remember in Brawl, like I just loved competing that game. I loved playing that game, but I just didn't have the resources to travel, right? But like that was probably when I was the absolute most motivated to like play. And even when I think back on it, in terms of a individual Smash game, I probably have the absolute like most hours in Brawl than any other Smash game. Like it doesn't even come close. I put the most hours in Brawl, like by far. Yeah. I was like the most motivated to play. I like had the time to do it, right? Like in high school, like nothing better to do, just like do whatever high school, whatever you got to do, and then just play Smash. So there's a bunch of timing stuff involved. Obviously, as you get older, you get more responsibilities, right? Yeah. Even kind of like figuring out like other stuff you enjoy within the Smash community. I think that's one of the most like one of like the coolest things about Smash. Like I feel like 90% of people come into the community as a competitor, but then you kind of like if you stay in the community, you'll branch into other stuff that you enjoy doing. Like I found out I really enjoy like teaching and coaching, and I really love doing like content and commentary, right? Like and even my commentary like reflects off of like the teaching coaching aspect, because like when I commentate, I like breaking the game down to like be digestible to like so other people can learn about the game. Like that's like my like kind of my style of commentary, right? So it's like it's super cool. And then like obviously you have, you know, people like Gavin that came in as a competitor and they stuck with being a competitor, right? Because the situation like deemed for it, and he like just really enjoyed competition and stuff like that. So it's really cool to see like all the different walks of life within the Smash community, because I feel like a lot like on a surface level everyone feels like you're just a competitor, that's it, right? Like that's all that matters, like is like your placing stuff, but there's so much things that go on like behind the scenes that like makes everything possible. Like even like, you know, the people like production and people like Gimmer like running VGBC like stream the events, stuff like that. Like there's so much different things you can do in the Smash community. God. Is definitely epic. That is a word to describe ConCon. I agree.
Yeah. You region, yeah. Oh yeah, man. All right.
I don't want to keep Hazmatt here because I know he needs to rest for the commentary, but
just dying a little bit. That's all right though. No, I'm having a great time too. Your chat's hilarious. Yeah, thanks for having me, man. This is a lot of fun. Maybe we can do another one. Finish off the top 10 or whatever in the future. That'd be fun. So
yeah, low key, cool. we need Hazmatt as a regular. Who agrees?
You're the boss.
Oh snap! Are you getting promoted, dude?
I didn't expect this. I'll be honest.
Honestly, I at least need Hazmatt on again. Something.
Okay.
There you go.
I just felt
I get a second interview.
I just felt like he is a perfect. I feel like he's a perfect fit for like the goal we're trying to bring with like talking about Smash. So.
The way we talk about Smash is very like similar, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, the thought process behind it and stuff. I think that's like the main thing, and it just like feels right.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Because it's funny because we messaged each other. We're talking about the podcast, and I'd scrolled through our chat history just a little bit, and you had said to me at one point, and maybe it made me feel good. And as you said, I really enjoy. We had talked after a major, and you're like, I really enjoy. And some of my favorite memories with you, Tweek, are sitting in major crowds and talking about the game and just talking about the decisions that are being made and stuff. You said I really enjoy sitting and talking about the game with you. I was like, me too. And like that's just a really good feel. I don't know. It felt good, so I appreciate that, man. I think we'd have fun on the show. So I love all three of you guys. You're all really, really fun to talk to about the game and all that shit. And I love you, chat. You guys are a lot of fun. And yeah, hopefully we can make another one soon. So that was fun. Sorry I have to cut it short. Only a 2.5 hour podcast today for you guys. I know. I'm such a buzzkill. I'm sorry.
No, it's perfectly fine. If having a time limit is good for us because we go too long all the time.
It's easy to get caught up when you're talking about this shit.
Exactly.
We go down many rabbit holes.
Yeah.